Okay, we are live.
So
Yay.
yesterday, Drill put out like a fucking like streaming tweet, and he'll always put like a completely deranged picture to go along with it. And I glanced at it, and immediately, without looking at what was actually written in it, saw it and was like, "Oh, that's Gary Coleman at E3 promoting Postal." And
You mean
that
Postal
sucks.
2?
I don't care. But broadly speaking, that sucks because I did not have the presence of mind to look closely enough to see that the women that he's standing next to have Postal written on their tops. So that sucked to be able to identify just as like a picture of Gary Coleman with women was just like, oh, that must be Postal.
What's happening to your mic? It sounds like you're getting like muffled and like stuff.
Sounds fine to me.
Nothing unique.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything unusual here.
Okay.
Did you figure out what your name is? Or are you Bob again?
I'm Bob again. Yeah,
Bob.
I'm definitely doing Bob and Gog. If we get to the Sprite, we need a third name.
Let's go with the most inappropriate one, Beat.
Why would Beat be the Sprite?
You
was like a
absolute
joke.
monster. I will rend you asunder.
It's angered the gods.
Yeah, he has, Goggle Bob. You've pissed me the fuck off.
Gogglebob wasn't even the one that suggested it.
It's the principle of it.
Yes.
Just like in
It's
other
like when Cali
situations,
Scrub was fucking up at video games.
Yeah.
And suddenly Gogglebob.
when Beat is angry at somebody, they become Goggle Bob.
It doesn't matter who they are.
It's more like I force whoever they are outside of themselves so they can become you.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the default window in Secret of Mana being awful.
I feel like there's a number of things that we're going to point out and say that's awful. Most of them hit detection.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be the fun part of the game.
Like, this is an action RPG.
Isn't there like a fucking 3D remake of this one that was like for cell phones, but then they put it on the PS4 because we live in a world full of magic?
The Adventures of Mana was for cell phones. That was the other remake of the game we played last week.
Yes.
This, the Secret of Mana remake was primarily a PS4 game.
Okay.
I was thinking, I hope they slip off, and then he did it.
Very-
Bob did not last on that. Bob.
Boba
Dang it, Bobby.
Bob.
Now,
Bob.
last game we never.
To be fair,
Bob. I love it when video games try to like make the player entered name dramatic in one way or another.
I'd like to bring up that the real name of this character is not honestly a great deal more epic than Bob. His name is Randy.
Randy.
But somehow it's spelled with an I.
Randy.
Good
Is that
lord.
what it is?
High school,
Is that what it is in both like the East and West, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Randy.
I went to high
Randy.
school with her.
Yeah, I think
She became a stripper.
Huh?
I
I said I went to high school with her. She became a stripper.
Oh.
Good lord.
Oh.
Well,
Is,
no,
is Randy her stripper name, or did she like go with
No,
some
Randy
other
was her
stripper name?
legal name.
you're thinking of Randy, but with a little heart over the eye.
Hold
I'm
on,
thinking
I
of
gotta
I'm
experiment with this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
thinking of Randy Pitchford leaving a USB
Oh.
flash drive at medieval times.
No, you're not.
Choosing not to think about that. This is technically an action RPG, but like all of your attacks feel like just a suggestion of force in one direction or another.
Now, see,
This is also-
you are coming at this from a perspective as someone who is not, due to possibly a brain damage as a child, playing this game for a million billion hours. So
Doesn't
like
have baby bird brain.
exactly.
disease.
So the exact well, it wasn't even baby bird brain in my situation. What it was basically this was my Christmas gift, and that
Oh
meant
yeah,
this
you
is
just have to learn to love that.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is the only
that's the way
game
it
I have
worked.
to play for the next 4 months until my birthday, more or less 5.
We were
was me
children
in
and we got
Battletoads and Double
exactly
Dragon,
2
the
video
ultimate
games a
team.
year.
Exactly.
Also, I have a proof of Randy concept.
Oh,
Check
no.
the chat.
Proof
Yeah,
of
I
Randy.
saw what you're talking about. Yeah.
Proof of Randy.
Oh, you put that. Okay, that's what you meant by check the chat. Oh, God.
The POR.
Well, good work on that, I suppose.
None of you will ever know why I laughed. You can all just assume I saw a very
That's fine.
funny meme.
Sure.
Every single letter is capital except for the I.
I got standards to uphold, damn it. You can't put a dot over a capital I. That's stupid.
Yeah, certain morals.
As opposed to everything else that was occurring here. So my least favorite aspect of this is how much the game really does just want you to wait between attacks.
Oh yeah, no, it's an attempt to
Why are we killing bunnies?
rabbits.
You got
They're called
whacked.
rabbits. You kill a lot of these.
Okay, so what I think has ever been happening in Secret of Mana is that they looked at RPG battle systems, specifically JRPG, much though I loathe the term, and as opposed to thinking it was an approximation of reality, which RPG battle systems more or less are, like the idea is that you're kind of simulating what was originally the tabletop like idea of reality.
See, I always thought that like the entire purpose of turn-based was to be like a sort of like simulacrum of reality,
Right,
In
that-
in like the
Yeah, that's
abstract,
what
very
Bob did.
abstract.
And that's what
Oh,
I'm
we're saying the
saying.
exact same fucking thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. And then the idea in my mind of what they did is that they took the exact wrong lesson and decided to make an action game that mimics the pacing of a turn-based combat.
RPG.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like
It really
It's
does
weird.
read like
Went
the
in the wrong
active
way.
time battle meter has just been dumped into this game with little consideration.
yes, and whether or
Yeah.
not it makes sense or is remotely fun is like not
Irrelevant.
important. Also, I do always
We
love
will
these
bring
Secret of Mana NPCs that walk around in their pajamas. Like, they just treat this as a totally normal thing.
Cute.
So it's Walmart.
And that is
Yeah, there you
normal if
go.
it's the right time of morning.
yeah, I was gonna say
The-
again turn-based. You have to remember everyone was playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that's what the earliest like computer RPGs were based on. And that's what inspired the JRPGs. I don't know where I'm going with this. Michael Caine said, "Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up." Batman Begin.
Batman
No.
Begin.
Okay, so like
What I was
here
trying
was
to say.
back in like 2009, I was an asshole. So I loved starting arguments on that one forum by saying that the true and perfect form of the turn-based RPG was Gears of War.
Honestly, yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Because my
kind of-
attitude was, or at least the point I was putting forward to make people mad, which I did. I did in fact make them
Back
mad.
in the day,
Very
we
proud
called
of
this
that.
trolling.
Yes, back in the day we called this trolling. Now
Do we
trolling.
not?
Nowadays trolling. Well, nowadays when people say I'm just trolling, they're really just saying the N word.
Yeah.
Don't let them have trolling.
I'm so brain rotted. I thought Timothy said Gooner.
Gooner?
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't
he
like
said
it.
Goner.
Moving on.
We're moving on. But like the arguments that I made, because I always had exactly enough of an argument for people to like get super mad at me without like being able to totally refute me. Was that as like graphics and like the fidelity, I suppose, more importantly than any sort of like graphics, got better and better. All of the things that a turn-based game was simulating, blindness, paralysis or like limited movement, all that stuff could be like represented in real time, right? There's an argument there. It's a stupid argument, but it does exist. Elliot, help! A monster.
Yeah, no, I was gonna think it was because, like, you know, you take cover, they shoot, you shoot, they take cover, and it's just that until someone slips up.
Yep.
Yeah, so to add to your basic statement here, we now have a battle system where you're the only playable character and you can be knocked unconscious, and so you just lie there on the ground and wait your turn.
I'm going to say a few nice things because I'm going to be very mean most of the night. The look and music of Secret of Mana is unimpeachable.
Yeah, no, this game is pretty.
Which is why the remake,
Contrast with last week's.
which is why the remake on PS4 is one of the worst remakes in human history.
Yeah, it took what was the most distinctive thing on the Super Nintendo and was like, well, let's get rid of that. And
Like,
then
what if
what's
this just-
left?
What if instead of
Oh.
just not being very fun to play, this also was ugly as shit?
If
And
I
also they
remember
added a lot
correctly,
of completely unnecessary dialogue.
If we were to
It
flash
also-
back to,
that was-
I'm sorry.
That was like the only update made to the game. Was like, here's some extra dialogue when you go to a hotel.
Yeah, they're party chat.
Yep. It turns out they didn't actually have ideas for what Randy and Popoy, and I don't remember the third one's name. They didn't have ideas for what their personalities were beyond boy and girl and sprite.
That is
So,
not
that
true. Girl is perpetually obsessed with Diluc, no matter what happens. Like
What?
Diluc, her boyfriend.
Oh, I thought you were her boyfriends. I guess
No,
I
no.
was making
Listen, I'm
assumptions.
going to be real with you. As game design, as game writing logic goes, that is basically just giving her the personality of girl.
No, yeah, 100%. But it is
No, absolutely.
like her one defining trait they gave her in the party chat is just that at all times she's like, I wonder what my boyfriend's doing right now. It's like, he's been kidnapped, don't worry about it.
How
I
old are
want to
these
try as
characters
hard as I
supposed
can to fail the Bechdel test over
They
the course
are
of 30
all-
hours.
They are like Cassandra inferred. The answer to that question is always stupid, but for all intents and purposes, you may think of them all as about the middle of high school.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say, actually. It's like, yeah, no, that sounds like a high school girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll meet her soon enough. Like, she's got singular
Gog will be
desires.
here.
Yes, we'll get to Gog. So anyway, for those of you who care about the plot,
I don't.
Randy Bob fell down
I
a
just said I
waterfall
don't.
Too bad there's other people.
They don't either.
Gotta
but
build the
go ahead.
content for the video. Come
Look,
on now.
you know, like, weirdly enough, the YouTube uploads are getting like 100 views, like, after they go up, and I don't know who these people are, but I am talking to them right now.
It's me,
And I
Goggle
can tell you it used
I've got
to get
18
like 18
proxies
views.
all refreshing your video.
Why? What's that for? Is that for you?
I don't know. Trying to game the system.
Strangers on the
Damn it,
internet.
how?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not like he's
You're
monetized
just
or
doing
anything.
things.
I just do
One
stuff.
day they might be monetized. We can.
I'll be right back.
Like, we can dream.
What do you
all
want from
those
me,
pennies.
motherfucker?
We're living off
All
the
the-
even worse streams funds. I can tell
How
you.
about retirement?
Yeah, I will say this out loud right now. If Even Worse Streams actually starts making money at any point, I am giving 100% to the rest of you guys.
You don't want to make money off of being bullied.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, I don't even need the tax hassle. Like, I just do this as an excuse to play video games.
Pesky taxes.
Like, I don't even want to know. It's like, no.
Whoops.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, Randy
I realized
just
as I went to grab myself a beer that I said it's me the exact same way I confessed to doing something for real. So I feel I need to clarify. I am not actually like artificially trying to drive up your view counts, God.
I mean, it is something that's been vaguely. I don't know if it's just because of the Superman streams, but that's kind of when these view counts started increasing. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess Superman just brings them in, or I don't
Superman's
know.
marketable.
Yeah, it means
Hello,
been around
Extra
for like
Life.
100 years. It makes sense.
I
Some
don't.
motherfucker is looking at that like, oh, I'm gonna find the Superman Legacy trailer, and then they find it, and they're just like, yes, this must be it. Superman Man of Steel on the Xbox.
I'm gonna watch 3
I-
hours of these people playing a video game.
I
I'm
feel like
beginning to
Who
think
is attacking you behind a
that the
tree?
James Gunn trailer isn't on here.
Man, I almost got killed by a flower just now.
I'm actually pretty interested in James Gunn's take on Superman. It'll probably be pretty cool.
Oh, I'm super interested in that because James Gunn is good and Superman is interesting.
He's a pretty cool guy.
There might be a Crypto the Superdog in it. Who can say?
I know I wouldn't be responsible for literally hundreds of people, but I actually have been like recommending like the videos
I mean,
because
I
I like.
Please
I
don't become a
recommend them to
social pariah
exactly
trying to
nobody, so it
boost
might be
this.
you.
You're
Please
probably
don't become a social
contributing.
pariah trying to boost this.
You're probably like contributing way more than you're giving yourself credit for.
I mean, the numbers are there. I'm not gonna lie.
The numbers don't lie.
But also you've been talking about rewatching the old videos to do your drawings too, right?
Yeah,
All right, see,
No.
there you
Count
go.
for 100 though.
Okay, so
I'm
here's,
not. I'm not
here's
watching them
dialogue, by the
100
way.
times.
I like to think that Chrome's like watches it exactly long enough for YouTube to count it as a view, and then immediately like just refreshes the page or like gets distracted and closes Chrome or whatever.
It's fine. I'm
As
gonna
a
make this the
result,
worst
like
stream
him
ever.
him watching like one of our 3-hour videos somehow amounts to hundreds of individual views.
I'm gonna make this the worst stream ever. I got this. I got this on lock.
Okay, do it.
It's
Do it, man,
time
do
for
it.
a 3-hour dissertation on Crazy Frog Racer for the PlayStation.
No.
As
Well,
has been
that
summoned.
has to. I'm
I
into
was
it, but
wondering
only
when that was
if
coming
you can assure us that we will in fact have at least a 20-minute discussion about how they stole Crazy Frog's penis.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
wanted to organically bring that into the conversation.
I'm sorry.
Planned.
I've had a long day. I just need to think about it now.
Yeah,
I need to think about Crazy Frog.
we all have needs, and some of us need to talk about Crazy Frog's dick.
Speak for yourself.
It-
I was
it's
here to talk about the purity of Crazy Frog Racer and the Sony Computer Entertainment Europe's devil may care attitude to video game licensing.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't exactly expect to be on stream tonight, but I'm not surprised that you brought that back up. Absolutely none of that is surprising.
You kidding? We've been keeping that one in the chamber like since last night. We've all just
Yeah.
been like, okay, let's get the formalities out of the way so we can get that sweet, sweet Crazy Frog.
Okay. First movement of this beautiful symphony that we're starting. Sony Computer Entertainment
Act
Europe
1.
has historically had absolutely no standards at all. They don't give a shit about anything. Like Sony Computer Entertainment America, if you go back and look at their handling of the PS1 and the PS2, they had big ideas about like making sure that a game didn't come out and make the system look like dog shit. For very arbitrary and capricious ideas of what dog shit looked like. So a bunch of early PS1 and PS2 games don't come out in the US for reasons of that. Sony Computer Entertainment Europe doesn't give a shit. If you say you want to release a game on the PS1 or PS2, and you made it in less than 2 months, they don't care. It's mostly footage from a possibly copyright infringing Disney knockoff. They don't care. It might be. It could be anything. They don't care. They do not care. Like there's a Home Alone game for the PS2 from 2006, and it's Pac-Man.
That's beautiful.
There is an American Tail game for the PS2 from 2006, and it's Super Monkey Ball. It is impossible to describe how none standards they had. They do not care. You could put anything on that. Skateboard Mania Extreme Madness, or whatever the fuck it's called. Madness Extreme Edition, that's what it was. Is a skateboarding Tony Hawk knockoff that was made in 6 weeks by a very overworked Spanish developer. Went sailing through their approvals process without issue. They didn't even care if the DVDs they were printed on were so cheaply printed that they would essentially break with any sort of force. It's impossible to describe how little of a shit they gave. So that is the reason, along with Europe's completely inexplicable fascination with Crazy Frog, that Crazy Frog Racer was shat upon the world by an uncaring corporate entity. For those of us who have forgotten not just Crazy Frog's penis, but Crazy Frog. Crazy Frog was a horrible little creature, naked except for a vest and some sort of like goggle pilot helmet, a goggle bob, if you will.
Yeah, he was wearing that guy.
No,
he was rocking
don't
that
you
goggle
bring me
bob
into
fit.
this.
like
Prompts after this,
aviator
please draw
goggles.
Goggle Bob in the Crazy Frog outfit, but wearing pants. Please,
I
for
was
the love
about
of
to
God.
say.
Thank you for clarifying wearing pants. 'cause I
Just
was
so
like,
we're all aware, I'm
I was-
very well endowed. Just if you need to add that to
No,
the...
no, I'm not going to draw that.
This is getting worse
Goggle
by the
Bob.
second. Stop talking, Bob. Okay, so the Crazy Frog was a horrible, horrible creature. I believe its original creator just dubbed it Annoying Thing before marketing got hold of it and said we can't just call it Annoying Thing. It was an awful design that was then thrust into
Get
stock
it?
sounds
Thrust?
of a man.
No.
No, go fuck yourself. Thrust into the position of being overdubbed with the sound of an irritating man imitating a motorcycle.
From
Okay,
And then,
because when y'all started saying Crazy Frog, the first thing that came to my mind was that stupid ringtone. Am I wrong? Or
That-
is that...
that's it.
no,
that
that
was
was
the origin.
exactly what it was.
That's it.
Yeah. It was
I
from the
hate
age of
everything.
ringtones.
I hate everything.
And then some sort of, some layer of hell came into contact with a music producer and was like, what if we put that over Axel F? And that was enough to score you a hit in mainland Europe for some reason.
They have
Also in
problems
America.
there.
Context, what is Axel F here? Oh, that. Cool.
Beverly Hills
I mean,
Cop.
with all of you overlapping, I still figured out what it was. So that's terrifying.
Because it's-
Thanks.
What is Axel F
recognized.
is our Manchurian candidate activation phrase.
I have like 12 of those. Don't insult me.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, like it's very obvious that my Truman Manchurian candidate activation phrase is "My name is."
What?
But yeah, so
You'll
Crazy
figure it out,
Frog.
Goggle Bob.
uh,
Sorry, go on, Payone.
so Crazy Frog scores some sort, like you say, oh, it was a hit in America. It was not a hit the way that it was in Europe.
No, true.
Like
Yes.
it was a number one in large parts of Europe. It's deeply irritating,
yes.
as you would expect. More irritating than me, Beat, and Goggle Bob all attempting to hum Axel F, overlapping each other completely off key and out of sync.
Yes.
Um,
I appreciate you guys, but you're also the stuff of nightmares.
But we do our best.
oh yeah, we're terrible. So that somehow caused a fly-by-night British publisher and developer to release a Mario Kart knockoff based on the music video for the Crazy Frog version of Axel F.
Jeez.
Right. Like
Down
so
the rabbit hole we go.
I'm trying to imagine who the characters would be.
I don't know. Is
You got
Gummy
the Crazy
Bear in
Frog. He is
Yeah,
riding
okay.
around on nothing as he is in the music video.
Of course, yeah.
And then there's
Obviously.
his Moomins for some reason.
There is that large robot that he's riding around with in the music video.
Okay, sure, that's two.
And then
Two-
there's a random assortment of jackasses from nothing.
I'm just picturing everything that's inexplicably popular in Europe, but not anywhere else. Like, I don't know, like like certain versions of Donald Duck, the Moomins, what else? Oh, Asterix and Obelisk, they're in there.
Like you could just pull out a bunch of like Franco-Belgian comics if you really wanted to. How do you feel about Paparinick?
Terrible.
That's Donald Duck's Italian superhero version. But yeah, the horrible punchline to this is there's a Crazy Frog Racer 2.
Wait, they made another one?
Yes.
That's absolutely insane.
God, I'm going to be recorded asking this question. But did he have his Wang?
He did not have his Wang as a Crazy Frog Racer 1.
My God.
I hate censorship.
They took it from him so quickly.
Going back in time and convincing every dipshit that got involved in Gamergate to be really upset about not being able to see Crazy Frog.
I mean, I
Crazy
feel
Frog
like
Chicken Ball.
you say that, but I feel like I could, if given like the right circumstances, I could absolutely whip up a violent mob over that.
Given the right
Like-
circumstances.
More than
Are the
anything,
circumstances not self-evident enough?
this conversation reminds me of, I shit you not, Black Panther 2 and the reveal that the guy who played Namor, his name escapes me, just has a huge schlong, and Disney digitally edited the film so that his bulge was less big. Because like
Imagine
his costume
having that
is...
on random Wikipedia pages, like not just your own, but also the Wikipedia page for the movie. It's like, yeah, my gigantic hog had to be edited out of the film.
And all I could think of upon reading that is, my God, if Disney stole my penis, I would never stop talking about it.
Stole? I feel like that's a bit strong here.
I picked that word for its evocativeness, not for its accuracy.
If Disney forbade your penis.
See, it doesn't have the doesn't land right, you know?
It's censored.
If Disney
Well,
committed an act of digital vandalism upon your enormous wang.
Yeah, like I'm sorry my dick was too big for you guys.
I'm
Thought
not
we were
even
all
gonna-
about body positivity. Guess not. I mean, it's not like he's the one who was like, yes, I absolutely demand to play this character wearing nothing but like a Speedo. That's Disney are the ones who said, no, we're going to be comics accurate. And then saw that their lead's enormous hog through his pants and was like, oh, we have made a terrible mistake.
Put on the banana hammock and put some wings on your feet and get out there.
Like they couldn't have just had the costume designer work with what they had.
I mean,
Or,
I'm sure they
like-
could have, but that would have made like somebody who read exactly one comic from the 1970s absolutely just emoliate himself with gasoline in front of the Magic Kingdom, and they couldn't have that.
Well, I mean,
Bad
just-
optics.
I was
Why
going to
not
guess
just-
that the actual problem would have been that the costume designer is union and has to be paid extra for the extra time.
Oh yeah, that is true. But the CGI guys, those guys aren't union.
No, I
And
mean,
that-
why didn't they just
You can make-
design the costume to
To
account
accommodate
for
his
everything?
giant dong,
Hide
he would have been basically wearing a giant diaper, which just did not test well with audiences.
Well, then that's not a very good costume designer.
You tell Stan Lee that. Actually, who did originally design the Namor costume?
Yes, it's
Stan
probably
Lee.
Jack Kirby.
Oh, yeah, that would
Jack
make,
Kirby.
yeah,
Jack Kirby
that
designed everything.
that would make sense as a Kirby design because that is
It's extremely Kirby. Kirby is like one of those legendarily weird guys who absolutely believed in what he was doing, and that was what made him perfect.
Oh, Kirby's.
He
I
was a
mean,
weird
just
ass dude. That's what was so good.
the
Yeah.
sheer level of amazing that is, God, like just the fourth world and just being like, Oh, I just got fired off of Thor, so I'm gonna make new fucking gods. Like, literally what the stated premise was.
Yeah.
It is like, hey, this guy flies around on a giant chair, and that's what he does.
I believe.
Guess what? I'm putting them in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
I believe one description of the new gods was Jack Kirby was literally writing a Marvel story in DC Comics.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
completely accurate. I mean, again, it was basically because he couldn't write
But
Thor
again,
anymore.
It's still super funny that he just put them in whatever book they'd give him, which is why they ended up in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. And like whenever you look up like where did Darkseid debut? Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
Just palling around.
It's just a fantastic place for Darkseid to show up.
I think I was actually
Level
trying
4.
to pay
Congratulations.
attention to the game.
Good.
I think I was actually
Why?
trying to pay attention to the gameplay to the point where I'd gotten my glasses. Well, they're old glasses and they're like broken.
Is this why you've watched our videos 100 times? Like, you're still trying to figure out what these pixels are?
Yeah, I can't see.
Just zoom in on that. Oh, that's Superman. Now it all makes more sense.
Super.
Why doesn't the
because-
video match the sound?
It's because the
Where are the people talking?
sometimes sometimes I just watch it on a really small scale. It's like my glasses are like broken. Like I don't know what those things are called on the sides of the glasses that you're supposed to put your ear. You're supposed to put them on your ears.
The arm?
with. The arm. Or
Really?
the
Is that what
leg.
they're called? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're arms.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've only been wearing
So-
glasses since second grade. I could be wrong.
I mean, like I wear glasses
Have
now,
you been?
and I just never heard anybody give those things a name before.
Okay,
Believe I've been
so
wearing
my
glasses
glasses.
since I was 4.
These are several year old glasses. Like I probably need a new prescription by now. But these ones don't have arms because
That's a
I
problem.
don't
What is
fucking
this, the
even
goddamn
remember, but,
Matrix?
Like
You're gonna be
a couple
you're
of
gonna
years ago, they like a couple of years
You're
ago.
gonna have to like pool our money together so you can get new glasses.
He's probably
You
just
got that
upset about
Morpheus
his new
swagger.
glasses.
like these are several years old, and they like I had a really bad like problem with like breaking the arms off my glasses, like not intentionally.
Well, I mean, evidently, if you don't have
You
them
just were
anymore,
unlucky.
they took them away.
And now I just have these glasses without arms.
I don't understand how they stay on your head.
I just hold them there, and most of the time I just don't use them. Like this
Huh.
is like this is the first occasion in a while that I actually started trying to use my glasses. It's really weird, like when people make those comparisons about like how when like your vision gets better, it's like updating a video to better like resolution.
16-bit.
In 2006, the German production company, the League of Good People, was in talks with broadcasters about a TV series based on Crazy Frog. TV series was canceled.
The League of Good People in Europe, there's no way that doesn't trace back to a Nazi organization, right? Like, we're all in agreement on that.
Specifically in Germany.
Like, whoa. Big
Believe-
Volkswagen
Yeah,
energy here.
Everything on the internet is actually telling me that they're called the temples, not arms.
I thought the temples was what goes over your nose.
No, that's the bridge.
Oh, my bad.
I thought temples were like the size of your head.
Yeah, I think that's why.
That's where the arms go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Everybody
We're gonna
knows
keep
what
calling
we
them
mean
arms,
when
it's
we
canon
say
now.
arms.
What else would
I
you
never-
call them?
Legs? I don't know.
Them hooky thingamajigs.
My
All
hooky
right,
thing
so-
with jigs broke.
Mastoid bend. Sorry,
No,
I'm
evil.
done.
Disgusting.
Right, that's the bone in the ear is the mastoid.
Disgusting. Absolutely, absolutely wretched.
In a conversation
Now-
about
2007.
Crazy Frog.
In 2007,
Crazy
the
Frog.
Animation World the Animation World Network wrote in connection with The Annoying Thing that there was a planned feature film to be completed by the end of the year, and the feature film was canceled.
Thank God.
I mean,
It was
we
later
all-
to become Minions.
I mean, Minions are still more appealing than the Crazy Frog.
Well, they went through a redesign.
Instead of one annoying thing, there's now fucking 100 of them, and
Yep.
they're all yellow now.
Manner.
That's why you never see the Minions without their overalls. It's like you'd find
No,
out they're
that
just the
sucks.
same as
Don't
the
make me
Crazy
think
Frog.
of that, you stupid piece of shit.
Don't make me think of that. A Minion hanging dong is not something you want to think about.
Goggle Bob, I've had a very long, very rough day. And I just want to hit you in the head with a rock until there's
I
just
also
like
want to hit you in the head with a rock.
truly
Goggle Bob.
like loathsome, like just trickle of like blood and sinew and neurons mashed against a rock in the ground.
I like how these descriptions keep getting more and more vivid as obviously somebody is fantasizing about my death more and more.
Why
Give
did
me
you say
reasons not
somebody?
to.
Why did you say somebody? Fanboy literally just said that to your face.
well, it could be any of us,
I'm just
honestly.
genuinely confused here, Goggle Bob. Who was that for?
It's kind of
Who
like
are
when
you
you're
trying
like
to
talking
hide
about a
Fanboy's
crush
identity
and you're
from?
like, somebody.
Okay, I appreciate that much like many of our least beloved celebrities, the Crazy Frog Wikipedia page has a controversies section.
Oh my god.
Why are you surprised by this? Why are any of
I
you
really
surprised?
hope the controversy is penis related.
And the
Yeah.
first one is.
I mean, it would almost have to be. Like,
First one.
where did his dick go?
How many are there?
I didn't
Why are
say
there
controversy,
pink
I said
clouds?
controversies.
Oh, multiple. All right, all right.
Okay, I went here.
I really hope one of them is like the guy from Axel F, the guy who wrote Axel F. Just like swore a death oath against the frog.
Bum, bum, bum,
If
bum,
that's
death.
true, it's not public. Okay. In
If-
February 2005, viewers submitted a number of complaints to the United Kingdom's Advertising Standards Authority regarding Jamster's advertising campaign, complaining that the Crazy Frog appeared to have a visible penis and scrotum. Some parents claimed that it was inappropriate for children. There were also complaints regarding the frequency with which the advertisement appeared on television, reportedly up to twice an hour across most of the day, with some channels showing it more than once per commercial break.
Nothing but Crazy Frog. Nothing.
All
Lot of time
crazy
to be
frog
watching.
all the time.
Time never stops. Sure, Crazy Frog.
Crazy frog is
The-
immune to our pathetic concept of time. He
The
exists
Advertising Standards
beyond
Authority did
time
not
and
uphold
beyond
the complaint,
currency.
pointing
Also,
out that the
now that I've
advertisement
said that, everybody go watch Corey's. It's fucking amazing.
The
Where
Advertising
is-
Standards Authority did not uphold the complaints, pointing out that the advertisement was already classified as inappropriate for airing during children's television programs, as it contained a premium rate telephone number, and that it was the broadcaster's decision how often an advertisement should show. Jamster did, in response, voluntarily censor the character's genital area and later broadcast its advertisements. Similar action occurred in Australia with similar results. In November 2021, the Crazy Frog Twitter account made light of the controversy, saying, "A lot of people were shocked to see my pee-pee in 2005, and still shocked to see it now in 2021.
I don't feel like that counts as a controversy. I feel like that counts as shitposting. And I'm not sure shitposting can ever be controversial.
Now I have questions
There were
about
then-
frog anatomy.
Let's not worry about it.
I don't think they actually have those. You know.
Who can say?
Yeah, that's why I have questions. Go on.
So it turns out that also there was complaints about these ads because it was not clear that you weren't just buying a ringtone, you were subscribing to a ringtone service.
Yikes.
I was
Yikes.
unaware of that.
Yeah.
That is actually like pretty heinous.
I
Definitely.
It was very clearly instilled in me as a child to not call any phone numbers that you see on TV.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grew up in the
Except-
exact same warding.
Except the one, any that appeared underneath Matthew Let's Go. I always called those in the hopes that one day I would get to talk to Question Mark Man.
He keeps coming up. According to The Guardian, Jamster bought 73,716 spots across all TV channels in May alone, an average of nearly 2,378 slots daily, at a cost of about £8 million, just under half of which were spent on ITV. 87% of the population saw the Crazy Frog on average, an average of 26 times. 15% of the adverts appeared twice during the same advertising break, and 66% were in consecutive ad breaks. An estimated 10% of the population saw the advert more than 60 times.
Can you imagine being the advertising executive who, like, took that account and was like, I'm sorry, you want to advertise your pantsless frog how many times? All right, sure. Yeah, okay, we'll do it twice. Break.
How many people will we expose to this frog's dick and balls?
Okay, sure. Yeah, don't dare air it during kids. Brother, there is no time left on the schedule. It's going on during Power Rangers. Deal with it. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles are now going to be synonymous with Crazy Frog. They're naked too. It's cool.
But also
but they have
consider
Shell.
the UK has drastically different TV standards than we do here.
Yes, it does. That's why they renamed them Teenage Mutant Ninja
No,
Blah.
Teenage
Teenage
Mutant
Mutant
Hero Turtles.
Hero Turtles. Yes,
And Michelangelo wasn't allowed to have nunchucks.
which is weird. Oh, hold on.
What did he have instead?
A grappling hook.
Uh,
He just kind of swung it around.
Oh.
Okay.
No worries. How are you doing?
The final Crazy Frog controversy. Following the release of Tricky on December 10th, 2021, an official non-fungible token release was planned on MetaBeat.
No! I watched.
Don't
This was
do
met
it.
with backlash on Twitter, with the account manager stating that they had been receiving death threats over the matter. After the release was repeatedly postponed, all mentions of Crazy Frog were removed from the MetaBeats website in late 2023.
I mean, when you're considering how much advertising Crazy Frog was involved with, it's no wonder that some people were attached to him.
Like, I remember being annoyed as shit by the ringtone commercials, but I don't think I realized how pervasive it was, because even then I don't think I was watching a lot of TV at that point.
We also get more ads on U.S. television shows, so it's likely that it was like an ad break was going to have more variety than just 9 million Crazy Frog ads.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was like the height of the
For better or
time.
for worse.
Like the very end of the 1-800-CALL ATT wars or whatever the hell that was. There was basically, because payphones still existed and they were like
N321 or whatever.
yeah, like you were supposed to call a number so that way you could basically reverse the charges on a telephone call or something. It's like impossible to explain nowadays. Like,
like having to wait until 9 o'clock to make a toll call.
yeah, like rather than having to pay to call outside of your area code, you would do that. You would call this number, and then AT&T would carry the charges or some crazy nonsense. Candice Bergen was there. I don't know.
I don't think I've actually seen Crazy Frog on TV.
I mean, what was the year this was, fanboy?
This would have been 2005.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's your
Yeah.
answer.
I wasn't even born in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Because
where?
you continue to remind us. Thank you.
I don't think
I
ever saw
almost
those
had
on
the
TV.
thought that I almost like misremembered and thought that I had seen Gummy Bear on TV, but I actually just watched the music video so much when I was younger.
Gummy Bear?
I mean, there
Yeah,
are
like-
channels
Like,
Yeah,
like you know, the
cute.
other one that's like also ugly and like almost naked.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something else then. My bad.
Where is
Here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, those gummy
It's like-
bears.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Was the Gummy Bears TV show could have been on TV. That wouldn't have been surprising.
why is he default dancing? Okay, I found a GIF of the gummy bear and posted it in general.
I found a gif of the gummy bear.
Oh no. No.
Were these like the amazing fruit gummy bears?
I don't know what it is, but he's got a bite taken out of his ear and he's singing into an old-fashioned microphone and
Why does
That's
every
so-
generation reinvent the gummy bear?
It's like
I'm
I'm not going to sing it. Actually, I don't want to sing it.
They're the gummy bears.
My favorite piece of random trivia is that if you're familiar with the Disney afternoon show Gargoyles, apparently Greg Wiseman originally approached Disney with basically gummy bears too. And like
Became
that was
Gargoyle.
going to be the concept for it. Like these wacky gargoyles awaken in modern times and they get into all sorts of crazy hijinks. And then I
Made it much
think
darker
Batman the
show.
animated series became popular. And then it was like, well, here's a different idea.
And I feel like everybody that was ever in Star Trek ended up doing a voice for Gargoyles.
Also
at
true,
some point.
yes. You know, I
And by
think
Star Trek, I
if memory serves,
specifically
I
mean
I
Next
think
Gen.
like literally the voice director for that show was like somebody who was on Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, like it was like she knew everybody. It was like, yo, you get in there.
That's fair.
You're Xanatos now.
Gummy bears.
I mean, there was a while where like Jonathan Frakes and oh my god, who ended up playing Superman on Lois and Clark?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, like the two of them were just
That's shitty,
everywhere.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where is
Yeah, the
it?
two
Where
of them
is it?
ended up being everywhere at that point in time. Welcome to the 90s.
Yes.
The original video.
Of a
In
gummy bear.
hindsight, he is really, really ugly.
At the time, I found him most attractive.
No.
No, don't slander poor Chromes like that.
You look back on gummy bears of your childhood and just realize, what were you thinking?
This is horrible and slanderous.
I'm not sure slanderous is the appropriate word there, but okay. I'm just criticizing everybody's use of the English language today. Have a nice day.
Well, look at you, Miss knows what parts of the glasses are.
Clearly. I mean, it made sense at the time. I was actually just being a jackass when I said that, too. Look, just because I've had them, you expect me to know what these things are called? Fuck no.
Well, I mean, Fanboy has technically had glasses the longest, but everyone knows that if you get glasses while you're in primary school, they do send you to glasses school for a semester, so they teach you the parts of the glasses. But if you get them before you go to school, then you never get that extra training. Obviously.
Yeah, I mostly
I
just
would-
got made fun of for being the only one in my class with glasses.
No.
I looked it up on Zenny.
It's fine.
Like, there's just whatever. And now I'm looking at buying new glasses on Zenny, so that's a win for them.
This is why Wikipedia is so well supported.
Pwah.
People go on there and they're like, oh, yeah, this is a great article. I want to buy a Crazy Frog.
No, no.
I forgot that the Gummy Bears theme song from the Disney Gummy Bears theme song was sung by the son of John Williams.
Apologies
wow,
for
really?
that. My dad called, and I had to update him on several matters.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Great to be
Important.
back.
How's your dad?
Yay.
Gummy Bears.
great, I think.
I take silence as a good
I
thing.
adventure that's beyond compare. I am the gummy bear.
Demonetized.
That's fine.
Disney now owns the stream.
Wolf.
Yeah, this stream about crazy frogs.
Yeah.
I love how they tried to like we're gonna date this heavily by bringing up the current ongoing legal dispute between a widower and Disney about whether
That's
Disney
so
Plus,
fucked up.
We brought it up last
Yeah.
week, don't worry.
Yeah,
Did
no,
we?
I'm bringing it up because they just acquiesced on that, but because they claimed they had waived their right to arbitration. Like, it's not, oh, we can't do that. It's, oh, we absolutely have the right to do that. But as believers in human dignity, we have chosen to waive our right to force you through arbitration because you watched The Mandalorian once.
I mean, it
See,
wasn't
like,
even that you had a
that's-
subscription; it was a free trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I thought it wasn't that that like they waived their right to arbitration so much as they waived their right to like a jury trial. Arbitration
there
is
was
done in
anything
place of a
about-
jury trial typically.
Well, they waived the arbitration in
Yeah,
favor
they
of a
like
jury
the way that companies love to do this is that they say that like everything has to go through arbitration. You don't get to have a trial, and like that was what they were trying to force through. Like, well, you use Disney Plus, and that said in the terms of service that if you have a dispute with us, you have to do it through arbitration. Because, of course, they
Discord
can-
tried some shit like that a while ago, saying that
Every
any
company
class
tried.
I was gonna say it's very common legalese, so to speak. It is not often.
It's just very
Well, it depends on who's involved, but it is not something that usually holds up. It's not like ironclad by
It's
any
not
means.
practically unenforceable.
part of the
The-
reason, yeah, like part of the reason they don't take this to trial is that like the second that it becomes a case that someone might actually take to court, they might lose it as a threat. But like the entire concept here is just like a deranged claim, because it's like this wasn't a dispute relating to Disney Plus. This was a dispute relating to a completely different part of the entity. Disney was just trying to use this as like, well, we have this. You agreed to. We didn't say that only Disney Plus was the only thing that you had to arbitrate through with Disney. Like, so maybe you should have to go through arbitration for this wrongful death suit.
Frankly, I'm shocked that they didn't just like immediately pay like settle out with like a huge, like enormous payment just to avoid it going to the news. And instead just made the biggest asses of themselves imaginable, because for a company like Disney, reputation is actually worth a lot.
But you have to understand, basically for the same reason that this is even possible is the same reason that this got out there, because basically, as much as I believe Disney to be a centralized unit, this could we do not know the circumstance. This could very well be one member of the Disney legal team saying, well, this is what we're going to be doing, and suffice to say, they did not like talk to the publicist wing at that
Somebody's
time.
first day of work.
Yeah, well, not even first day. It's just a matter of it. There could be very competing things as far as what the legal department thinks is important versus what the marketing department thinks is important. And suffice to say, I'm guessing this was a situation where the legal department said something without running it by the marketing department, and then there were problems.
Oh no.
This is absolutely a case where marketing was not consulted. Marketing would have screamed, "Please do not say that."
Please,
Marketing
please
would
don't
have
say
marketing
that
would
one
have
thing.
like just absolutely lost their minds. And as weird as it is going to sound, I agree with marketing here. That was objectively the worst possible thing they could have done from a marketing standpoint. From
Yeah.
a legal standpoint, it still wasn't great, because
Well, from a
most
legal
judges have
standpoint,
souls.
I mean, the sad thing about anything from a legal standpoint is basically you do what you can get away with. And if there's a
Yeah.
way to do this and not have to pay out millions of dollars, then you see that as your job. Like, that is the answer.
Like
I
Disney
get
looked
this.
Disney did some horrible amortization and looked at it and was like, the amount of damage that this is doing to our reputation is not worth trying to enforce the arbitration on this wrongful death
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
this
it got kicked upstairs to marketing, and then decisions were made. Anyway, we're at
Like,
Dwarf Town.
The one thing I would say marketing, like even now probably, is just like right now, just absolutely looking for a number. The number they can say that will make this settle and nobody ever speak of it again.
Yeah, the
Too late,
whole
everyone
bringing
spoke of it.
attention to somebody died at the park is not great.
Yeah.
Or at the mall,
Because
whatever.
every day that's a news story is just bad for them. They are a media company second and a resort vacation company first.
Yes.
Also, I fucking hate all of what's his face's animations. They're all so over dramatic.
Bob?
It would be fine. Yeah, what's his name? R something. Bob's. I wrote his name in the heart, and I've still already forgotten it. Randy!
Come here, Randall. And pay
And pay
your
your
half of the utilities.
Y'all are weird.
Yes.
It's just Aquatine. It's always Aquatine.
It's always out with you guys.
My name is...
Thank Lula, the Mac ruler, the old schooler. You want a crib? I'll bring it to ya.
So in a bizarre twist of events,
Pick it up.
it is August and I feel like I need a blanket.
Yeah, it's actually
For
cool
you?
here in Jersey today.
Wow. Bet
I
that's
went out
nice.
at lunchtime to check the mail and I was like, wow, I need a sweater. What is this?
Yeah,
I
no,
actually haven't memorized the lyrics.
like we got like an early June heat wave, and I think we're now getting the reciprocal. Like August is actually
Big
pretty
fall.
chill.
Well, for another 2 days at least.
Yeah, well, I mean it's better than most of the August, which is when it feels like an armpit.
Or, all of July this year,
Yes, exactly.
where it's been
It all
90
came
and
early.
100. This, of course, means that I need to go find a blanket.
So now we're watching a random sideshow.
You mean the stream?
Yes.
Like, weren't we already? Blanket time.
Oh no, it's a sprite.
You mean a starry? Or no, Sierra Mist?
I was thinking about using that joke.
Beat you to it.
I don't get it.
It's
Or
like,
missed
Okay,
the
until-
another lemon lime option.
Until
Oh.
a few.
I think it's called
Yeah, it
Starry
was
now or
discontinued.
something.
It's not.
Yeah,
no, it's
it was
name.
discontinued a few years ago.
Yes, and I miss Sierra Mist. I am sad.
Yeah, that was a good alternative.
I would like to point out that the elder
liked it more
refers
than
to Sprite as it, like just in casual conversation.
That's
Girl.
what would you call that horrible homunculus?
I mean, they used he randomly, but it seems to be more common there.
They seem to have, the translators seem to have had some like questions about what to do with Sprite's gender. Actually, not sure what the PS4 version chooses to do with
Just male.
reference.
It was something I noticed.
Yeah, because like if it's one of those things that like it has all sorts of connotations.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's definitely a situation wherein, like, I mean, definitely the first time I played the game, I thought Sprite was intended to be female, but
Yeah, I think that was
he
pretty common.
is not. But also, the first time I played Chrono Trigger, I thought Luca was supposed to be male.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just
They weren't ambiguous about that one.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
they
I don't
identify
know
her
what you're
as
going for
they
there.
identify her as female right at the beginning, but then after that, it rarely comes up. So, like, I didn't pay too much attention during like the opening of that game because it was just amazing, and then it was just like, oh. I didn't even notice. It's like something comes up like later, and it's like, oh, I thought she was just interested in Robo like on a scientific level.
I mean, I'm sure she is. But also she gets really into her work, you know. That one's for free.
I've been on DeviantArt. I know what's going on there.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have actually talked about this at all, but
The answer is yes, and we will absolutely explode with rage at each other once it's brought up.
the Australian breakdancing competition.
Oh, no, I
Yes.
don't give a shit about that.
Cool.
I can confirm that I am familiar with it.
My
Okay.
wife, I never actually bothered to watch the video until my wife showed it to me when we were like waking up in the morning, and she was scrolling around on Facebook Reels or whatever, and I was scrolling around on Twitter, and then that was when I finally saw, oh, so that's why everyone was making fun of her. I thought it was just because in that one frame she looked like she was doing a dinosaur. Well, okay, all right. I see now why this was a topic of conversation. And I immediately felt bad. Like I was just like, I feel mean. I don't want to feel mean at 6 a.m.
I feel mean.
So some of the stuff that has come out about that was that she has like a doctorate or something, and this was her
Yes.
field of study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You can
just,
study
like,
something and not be good at it.
No, but
We're all like that.
somebody made it sound like she was making a statement by doing it that way, like intentionally poorly.
I don't know. I feel like if I was going to do something intentionally badly, I would not do it at the Olympics.
Right, and that's why people then double down on the criticisms.
Like, I don't know. I'm not
Thank
gonna
you,
like
Ralph.
litigate for a woman's life. I hope she lives a long and happy life, doing what she loves, even if she's not great at it.
Robot.
Oh, so
roll call.
to talk about this game for 5 seconds,
No,
they give you
against the rules.
you have
Illegal.
3 characters, and they give you a pile of weapons, and literally none of them are ever useful.
All bad.
They all have like weird different ranges and hitboxes, and most of them are just like an affront to God. The end.
Evil hitboxes.
They call him
Sorry,
William
I'm
Bad
like-
Hitbox. He is the
I'm, like,
only
half
programmer
paying attention.
from of what is this? Secret of Mana?
What is this?
William Hitbox. The inventor of the hitbox. Little did we know, but he was actually Will I Am Hitboxes. Of the Black Eyed Peas.
No.
I don't even know where I'm going with this shit.
Okay. So I only learned about Crazy Frog's Wang being edited out because I wasn't actively looking for Crazy Frog. I was like,
No one is.
Crazy Frog just finds us when we most need him.
You need him for some reason?
I do.
Why?
For ringtones.
Why wouldn't I?
Need feels like entirely too strong a word for the context here.
You said
Yeah,
that about
that's the
Stole
choice that
too.
Beat has made.
Uh huh.
Just saying, I no longer trust your judgments on these important
And
matters.
the
Opinions on
Sprite.
words.
What did you name Sprite, Bobathan?
Sorry,
Sierra.
Chromes, go on.
He named it
Continue.
Sierra.
oh,
What a clever call.
We're all
Screaming
so
Red
very clever here.
I come in here, Beat is well wishing, and then you bring up Crazy Frog. I'm about to leave.
I mean, it's probably the best choice. There's probably gonna be at least one more Crazy Frog digression.
You want me to say I'm sorry, Cassandra Lynn? I refuse.
What are you refusing now?
An apology.
Oh, I wasn't asking for one.
Good, because you're not going to get one.
Oh, snap.
666 GP. Oh, that's 406.
Sorry.
For a second, you had the
I
third
couldn't
best
hold it.
number, Goggle Bob. Right behind 420 and 69.
Which one's
Nice.
number one between 420 and 69?
Asking the hard questions. Not sure if he's
down.
thinking about it or.
What? No, I'm just playing a shitty roguelike that I shouldn't play.
What are you
Exactly.
doing? What are you doing with a roguelite? What have we told you?
My brother brought it for me.
Which one?
Orbital Bullet. It's not very good, so I am the risk.
So you should be fine.
Safe.
I have no idea what that is.
I thought you were asking which brother for a second, and I got very confused.
I only have the one.
I'm gonna
I didn't know that.
Well, I have one brother. He's very nice. Everybody who meets him likes him because he's very nice.
He has one brother and one sister.
I also have a sister. She is also very nice.
I bet a cardboard
Yay.
cutout of his sister. She seemed
What?
nice.
Oh yeah, that
Cut out
story.
a who now?
Takes entirely too long to tell, so I won't tell it.
It's very straightforward. There's a cardboard cutout of his sister.
Don't worry
We
about
got a it's actually a very short story. We got a cardboard cutout of my sister because she was deployed. She's in the military during my brother's wedding and could not attend. So so we got a cardboard cutout of her in like her full fatigues.
That's fantastic.
That was the whole
actually.
story. Thank you for listening.
like the wedding photos.
Yay.
And then for the next 4 years, we just kept it at the place that we just like let any visitor to Florida stay at. My folks have this place out near Cocoa. And as a result, everybody who walks in just gets jump scared by this like enormous life-size visage of my sister in army camo.
I will note that I was distinctly warned, so I was not jump scared, but there it was.
But you have seen this.
You can be
It's
warned of
presence.
something and still get jump scared. That's the entire premise
Fair
of
enough.
Five Nights at Freddy.
Also true.
So, I had a thought, and I think it might have died right as I said so. So I might be fucked.
That's fine. It happens to me all the time. I get it.
Crazy Frog.
Roguelite?
Crazy Frog Roguelite wins.
Crazy Frog. The quest for more ringtones.
Wu-Tang Clan and the quest for the sewer goblins.
Actually, come to think of it, Chromes, do you even like understand the concept of paying for a ringtone? Or excuse me, paying for a subscription service for a ringtone?
I don't even understand that one. And I was alive at the time.
Could you imagine if your phone rang and it made a completely different sound every single time? This was the
I think
promise
modern
of Crazy
phones still
Frog.
do that.
I know what custom ringtones are. I was never able to have one though, because it was like. It's like when I
concept. Oh god.
Like customizable ringtones were like out of style by the time like I was actually able to get my hands on a phone.
Out of
Yeah,
style.
who actually lets their phone ring anymore?
Yeah. Like everyone just has their phones on silent now.
I have mine on vibrate, which is like silent, but slightly more noticeable.
I like that it's like almost like a status symbol for you. Like, I have it on vibrate. Peons.
Somehow the vibrate on my phone is so loud sometimes. that-
I'm picturing
I did
a phone
not know
that's like
Fanboy's
the size of a
impression
bed.
of a phone vibrating was that good, but like that was spot on.
He's actually
Right?
just calling himself.
I only have
Like,
one phone.
A
What would I do
plus.
that?
A plus, Fanboy. Fantastic work.
I love
One day
getting an
the
A+
world will
on
need
something
your
no one should ever
skills,
want to do.
and it'll be like fucking Sam Jackson showing up at the end of Avengers or Iron Man, whenever the fuck he first showed up. I forget. Who cares?
Technically Iron Man, yeah. He couldn't have shown up for the first time in Avengers. That was a thing.
Oh, I can't wait for him to show up at the beginning of Doctor Doom.
Duh.
God, that movie. I really, really, really hope, and I don't normally hope things this like obviously and cruelly, but I really, really, really hope Fantastic Four sucks ass.
You've been saying this for some time, let's be real.
Listen, it would be so fucking funny.
It would be extremely funny. Like I don't hope that like fucking Wolverine versus Deadpool or whatever sucks ass. And for the record, it was fine, pretty good even. But I really want like the Curse of Fantastic Four movies to stay alive because that would be so fucking funny.
Just want I want it to them to continue getting worse because it being more apocalyptically bad than Fantastic would be incredible.
Oh yeah, that would be so great.
And
So
for
into that.
And
Look it up, it happened.
I didn't know they made a third one.
It was a reboot by the guy who did like Chronicle or whatever. He was a real deranged man.
Man.
He attempted to get support for him to get to Snyder Cut it. Didn't happen.
I think there was a director's cut on the DVD release, and he literally just changed like the order of two scenes. That was it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Makes
it wasn't
all the
exactly
difference.
A big change.
So I have a game
They
question.
called it Fan for Test.
Why, every time you get a chest, why do you have to shake it over your head instead of just smacking it with a
Because
sword?
that's
Because it
funnier.
was a cute animation detail of the time.
You have to understand, the Secret of Mana games have so little good gameplay going for them. All they have is, what if our animations were slightly more charming?
But wait, can I activate Fanboy Master talking about what Secret of Mana was originally intended for?
The Super Nintendo CD.
The Super Nintendo CD.
I mean, like, before there was any Mana game, Square just sort of copyrighted Seiken Densetsu, which is a pretty generic but kind of cool sounding name in Japan.
The Holy
Basically,
Sword.
like Legend of the Holy Sword. And they intended to make it like some wildly ambitious Famicom Disk System game that ultimately got fucking taken up by the dead before anything was really done with it.
Is there like any evidence of what that game was going to be?
I don't think it was ever more than a trademark, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that vaguely became the Game Boy game, in so much as it had the name.
Yeah, it's one of those
Last
things where
week's
it's like,
offer.
well, we have the trademark's pretty good, we want to use it.
We'll find something to call this thing that we
Yeah,
made.
now I will point out, if you didn't notice, that last week we never even got to the titular, like, Seiken Densetsu Holy Sword, whatever the fuck. But this week we got the
Despite
Seiken...
playing,
there
like,
was
half
a
the
holy
game.
sword.
We got
I
the
thought that
Holy
was-
Sword like 5 seconds in this one. They knew what they were up to now.
They knew what they were about. They looked out at the crowd and said, "Hey, you guys want a holy sword?" And then they just started waving Excaliburs at you. Hey, that sort of dovetails nicely with that weird conversation you and I had this morning, Goggle Bob.
about King Arthur? Was that today?
Yeah, about King Arthur. Or more
Say, do you
accurately,
have normal
about...
conversations?
This is not a conversation anyone else is privy to, except Fanboy. Basically, one of the things I've grown to absolutely fucking hate is when, like, a movie that's, like, in an established franchise will spend time and energy giving something a backstory when it's just a thing that the character has. Like, it might be mildly iconic, but it does not need a fucking backstory. The
Like
example
Han Solo's
is...
vest.
The example
Yeah,
is in...
Solo, a Star Wars story is an entire movie of that.
Yeah, no, it's very bad. But like there's an entire like subplot in that one, a major subplot. It's part I'd call it just the plots, honestly, is why is like one of the many things just hanging out in the back of the Millennium Falcon's cockpit there. That did not need a backstory. Like if you were like somebody going, there's this one piece of set decoration in the back of the Millennium Falcon, and we don't know why it's there. I feel like God should kill you.
One of those things where like sometimes things are just like on shelves and it's fine. Don't worry about it. In fact,
exactly.
if you're somehow fascinated by it, that's good because it means the set was interesting.
Yeah, but please don't make your entire movie about that one thing. It's like
no one like that. Nothing can make it less interesting.
There are a million examples of this. And like I even admitted that like one example of it that doesn't bother me was like from eons and eons ago, and that was in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Over the course of the movie, the good just picks up random pieces of clothing that eventually make him look like his character in For a Fistful of Dollars.
Like the only reason you would have to assume that they weren't just thematically similar westerns.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the only that's as close as we get to a direct confirmation that they are the same person. Which is fine. It's also like subtle. It's never commented on. It's not the point of the movie.
Where it's like
it's
you
just
could
like
just say it's an homage. You could say it's literal. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you bother to notice it, which many people did not, myself among them, you'd just be like, oh, that's kind of clever. But like what Solo did, or like so many other fucking things did, I just hate it so fucking much. I don't want just shit that's not even like a MacGuffin, just shit that they have. And like it's a part of their look or whatever. And I guess it's kind of iconic. Like it'd be like if they like made an entire movie about Han Solo getting like his vest. Why does he have the vest? I assume he bought it at a store. It was like, boy, I sure could use that vest. Or damn, this vest looks pretty good on me.
But I will state, and this is what I said in our quote unquote private conversation, that just this is what happens with myths. Like, I guarantee you the story of Thor getting his hammer in Norse mythology was not a concern when people were first telling stories of the god of thunder. Like, it was just thunder, you get it, right? Thunder.
From myth to laughter.
Yeah, and then eventually somebody's like, oh, okay, well, if he's a thunder god, then, like, what's his weapon? He's got a hammer. Well, what's the hammer's deal? It's shorter than normal because his brother's a dick.
He throws.
And just like this is something that evolves over time, that when you've got a popular character, or dare I say it, franchise, people want to know about every little bit of it. And then it grows and mushrooms, and suddenly there's a myth for Han Solo's like toilet bowl, and that's what's happening.
I mean, do you really need that, or is that something like?
Okay,
I understand that people write fan fiction, and there's no reason that they can't write a backstory for XYZ item. So why does this need explanation when you're supposed to be suspending your disbelief anyway?
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's like along with what you said, Goggleborg, Bob. Yes.
Goggleborg.
Gorgleborg.
Whatever my name is.
Glog and Bob. There is sure. I'll admit there's an argument there, right? But your examples, fucking Thor's hammer or Excalibur, for that matter.
Yes, Excalibur.
Two totally different
Those are at
stories,
least
both of which
important.
make King Arthur king. Whatever. Those all are the results of, in some cases, hundreds of years of people building a mythology, right?
I mean, we always...
That is not a screenwriter saying, God damn, I bet they're all wondering how the Vault Boy got drawn for the first time.
Yeah, but you say
I'm
that...
gonna be real with you. It probably wasn't a screenwriter being like, I bet they're wondering. It's like, fuck, what do I do with a fucking Han Solo movie?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
But you say this like people in ancient times didn't have their own, in a manner of speaking, audiences or reasons to entertain. Like, somebody came up with Thor's hammer.
Okay, I take umbrage right fucking there, like 2 seconds in. Do not fucking tell me that the origin of a piece of set dressing is entertainment. We drawing a line in the motherfucking sand on that one.
Look, I am just going to tell you that 400 years ago, some dumbass forgot what the name of King Arthur's sword was. And there was a woman with enormous tits in the audience that he was trying to impress. And he was like, he got his sword out of a stone. And what about the Lady of the Lake? Oh, the Lady of the Lake was something else entirely. And it just caught on because he happened to be really good at telling a story. And now we talk about it like to this very day. And it wasn't anything more noble than Disney right now trying to be like, well, I could use an extra $12 billion. Like, these nerds will give you that kind of money,
I'd say
right?
trying to impress someone is more noble than trying to...
I would say trying to impress someone. That, like, ancient horny dude thinking, yeah, this is totally going to get me laid, was
infinitely more relatable
than Disney.
Infinitely more relatable. Did I just create a myth of a guy?
Hell, I would say more moral. More honest about his desires and goals in this transaction.
I mean, Disney just
like the
wants
second
to be
that
the
was
biggest
over,
company on
he
Earth.
probably went over to her
that?
and we're like, "Hey, babe, so you seen anyone?"
How about I put my sword in your stone?
Wow.
Jesus
I don't like
Christ.
that analogy.
So
That is
I was going to ask a question, and now
That
that
is a
Gogglebop
bad
said
analogy.
that, I
Come
think
up
I
with a
would.
better analogy. That guy back then probably had a way better analogy.
How about you be my lady in the lake?
Sure.
Ugh.
You know what? Sure, I'll even take that
Look,
one.
this is all
Right.
better than what actually happens in Fate Stay Night, okay?
That is a low bar to clear.
Yeah, like that's like saying, oh yeah, well this may suck, but I bet it doesn't suck as bad as the thing that openly and obviously sucks and we all hate it.
Well, that was really precise.
The name Excalibur ultimately derived from the Welsh Caled Wwch. The compound of Caled, hard, and Wwch, reach or cleft.
Where is Callie Scrub tonight?
Oh shit! I did not
yes,
even realize
beloved-
Screaming Red Skull
beloved
was in the
friend
chat
Caled
because I had
Wwch.
the I had the window I had the window like shrank way down. I'm sorry, Screaming Red Skull.
Often considered to be related to the phonetically similar Caled Bolg, a sword borne by several figures from Irish mythology.
Yeah,
Did you
so my
die?
question was going to be where
Kind
y'all
of.
are talking about like origins of background pieces. Did they ever explain how the sword ended up in the stone, or why it is the?
Depending on the myth, yes, they do, and it's all very
or-
complicated. And just basically, long story short, it was there so that way the once and future king could be discovered.
Right. No, it was
I
kind of a
prefer that shit
rhetorical
with
question
why
on my
anything.
side.
Shit just is. And yes, that
No,
was a shout out to Sparky Sweets PhD. May he live forever. We were the world's. Sparky Sweets PhD did not fail us. We failed Sparky Sweets PhD.
I'm now remembering one of the best jokes that a video game ever made with the sword and the stone. Which is
You're going to talk about Castlevania, aren't you?
Yeah, the Castlevania weapon where like you have the sword, but it's still in the stone, so you're just beating them. It's just a makeshift hammer.
The horrible thing is that the frickin'
Gogglebop just summoned Callie Scrub, by the way.
the frickin' that was
Hello,
pretty
Thanks for
awesome.
coming, Caled Wwch.
Did you fight the werewolves yet?
Technically, I'm past the point that people remember as the werewolves, but I am literally just now getting to the werewolf.
Okay.
It's on the screen right now at the top.
Everybody asks about the werewolves, but nobody asks why wolves. Why?
Ew.
Hey, I'll be here all week.
I'm now dropping the gif of Selma swinging the sword in the stone.
Oh yes, as I was about to say, the frickin' Puss in Boots movie actually stole that joke.
Yeah,
The
I remember that.
the one character is like a bad guy who has all these magical items, and he's like, well, never got this out of the stone, but I can still use it, and just starts swinging it around with the stone like a hammer. Which, congratulations for being the second people to come up with that joke. Maybe independently, we don't know.
I mean, it's not a difficult joke to come up with, and in fairness, their execution of it was very funny too.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to make that work.
Yeah. Is that werewolf
Yeah.
fucking rope-a-doping you?
Kinda. they are very distinct.
They are very distinctly boxing.
Yeah, and the next
That's
game
that rules.
The next game lets you play as one of the boxing werewolves.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna see a lot of that next week.
Awesome.
Well, we have choices. We might see 0 of that next week.
We're gonna see a lot of that next week.
Well, it looks like 1 has been voted on.
We're gonna definitely see that next week because I'm already done with this. You know the fucked up thing is if they just made the animation a little less animator pleasing, it could have been a perfectly functional video game.
The Secret of Mana series, not once its entire franchise, has gone for function over form. Not once.
But the worst thing is, I'm struggling to pick the correct words here, but it's over animated in ways that are distracting to me. I watch it and I go, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? It feels off. Weirdly and distinctly off. Like every time he swings a sword,
running away every time
he's got very evocative keyframes, especially given that they're only working with a fucking 16-bit system. But he also jumps around so much in between frames that it's just weird. I don't think this game is animated very well. I think that if you made a GIF of the animations, they would look good in that context, but they don't look good in gameplay. Does that make sense? Am I just talking out my ass here?
No, it makes sense. I mean, you say gameplay, but as Fanboy has pointed out, the hitboxes all around are completely wonky. Comically so.
There is an actually pretty, in my estimation, in my opinion, fairly interesting conversation to be had about what exactly gameplay is, as a definition, because some games, gameplay is the cutscenes. Some games, gameplay is the music. Gameplay, as we think of it, is so many more things than just the moments in which you are pushing buttons.
I do not disagree with you.
But these animations still just don't fucking work at all. I don't like it.
Are you saying you don't appreciate the dancing shopkeepers?
I appreciate the dancing shopkeepers. I appreciate this game's visuals a great deal. But God, just even watching it, even not being the one who has to play it, this still looks like it sucks to play.
I like how you say has to play it. Like there's some horrible force driving us to stream every Tuesday night.
The content cannot wait.
We gotta please whoever it is that's watching these videos. We're doing this for you!
Guy who's watching our videos, I have all of your names and addresses.
Yeah. We have seen your hard drive.
I will leak them unless you deposit $100 in Bitcoin to this wallet.
God.
In Bitcoin.
In Bitcoin. And here's the wallet code. B00B ampersand at $.
Is there a little heart over any of those letters?
Did you just say boob ass?
Hold on, I have to kiss my wife. No, I don't have to kiss my wife. I get to kiss my wife.
Did you just say boobs ass?
That's what I heard.
Heck, Cauldron, I thought they closed that place down.
Shut up.
The CIA.
Somebody pays attention to what gets posted during stream.
Oh, no.
So we're at, okay, so. I love that we're at the point in the game where this is considered by some to be the hardest point in the game because you don't yet actually have magic. So you have no useful healing options other than using items, and basically 2 of your party members are just 100% dead weights. And then you have to fight a giant cat.
Fodder. What are you talking about?
So what's with all them? Oh, they're normal people again. They were stones a moment ago.
I mean that
Maybe
was
you
because I
had
was in
paused.
a menu.
Oh,
So Screaming Red Skull said, "No, don't show them all my drawings of boobs made in MS Paint with a mouse."
oh, I'm gonna draw some boobs in MS Paint with a mouse right now.
Do it right now.
I'm
Does
doing
MS
it.
Paint exist?
MS Paint never left us. MS Paint has always
Not if
been
you
with
believed
us.
in it.
I never believed in MS Paint.
I learned how to
should.
draw on
Fuck
MS
out.
Paint.
There's someone who truly believes in MS Paint, unlike the heathen Goggle Bob.
Got turned into a Moogle again.
Good.
What is that thing?
A Moogle! Discovered
Eyeball?
this.
Or the wolf things?
At least Moogles are allowed to attack now.
No, they're not.
Oh,
they
no.
just walk around.
Oh no! What have I done? What have I done?
Did you post boobs into Discord?
Of course I did.
Not
I
in
posted them in the
Discord,
Twitch chat,
in the
motherfucker.
chat.
Yeah.
What?
I thought they were in
These
sex
are
too.
concerning. These are a little concerning.
Wow.
What's wrong with them?
You could
Looks more
You
like
could
minion eyes.
possibly, yeah, you could possibly just call these eyeballs.
But wait, damn it! You ruined the other half of the joke.
Did it turn
no.
out they were just minions?
no, I went and finished per se the drawing. I shall now post the completed masterwork.
Fairy Feller's master stroke.
And then I was going to
Legally
say
say
something
that's-
about like how, oh, you thought I was posting sick filth, but in fact, I was posting Zelko, who is just a weird little guy.
I
But,
feel
you
like
know,
I need to just
It's
bring up
ruined now.
that the Moogle sprite is not
There we go.
bad, but I also don't like it.
No, I'm
It's-
with you there.
It's weird where I think the face position is wrong. Like something's going on there.
Everything in this game is just off. And it's all off in like such an obnoxiously difficult to define way.
Sounds familiar.
Had more fun with Legend of Mana. Which isn't to say that Legend of Mana is particularly good, but it has gumption.
Hey, we're getting the Legend of Mana.
It believes
Legend
in
of Mana
itself.
believed in itself. Fuck. We said the same thing. Fuck.
Well, because we are both smart and intelligent.
I'm not ready to go that far for me. Maybe you, not me.
Oh,
That's fine. I think I'm smart and intelligent. I have
You're
high
a smart,
self-esteem.
intelligent, and handsome boy.
Yes, I am. Also very humble.
Notably.
Did I mention good looking?
I
Charismatic,
asked you,
too.
So you didn't have to.
And yeah, incredibly strong.
incredibly strong.
Look, let's just get this out of the way. Well, like, you know, complete transparency. I am this chat's only Sigma male.
Oh man,
Feet,
a
more
Sigma
like-
male walks among us.
It's one of those things I'm gonna have to
More
look
like
up and
a-
regret everything.
No, you'll be happy you're not looking it up.
Yeah, the Sigma male thing is something that exists in
It's
the
so-
minds of people
It's
trying
so
to sell
delightfully stupid. I love
vitamin
it.
supplements.
But that doesn't mean it's good.
You-
It's terrible.
Oh,
It's it's self-help bullshit, but for people who like have like their defining personality trait being some form of hustler and misogyny.
Yes.
Oh.
But like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so you've heard of
awful.
like, I'm Circus Angel, and you are aware of guys who talk about being alpha males, yes?
I'm familiar with the context.
Okay. These guys eventually found out that there were dudes who did not fit their extremely rigid idea of alpha, but still somehow managed to have successful relationships. In fact, many of them had more. But this
Imagine
cannot be. They were not alphas, at least not according to them. So therefore, they must be some strange thing outside.
Strange new
of-
Greek letter.
Yes, some new Greek letter outside of their whole setup. They decided were Sigma males who existed outside the hierarchy. And then those exact same guys said, wait a second, that sounds like it rules. So then they just declared Sigma as just ultra alpha.
Well,
They
was
went even further beyond.
Yes.
I feel like
Grind set involved.
Sigma existed basically to explain, sort of as you said, why there were men who clearly weren't alphas but were still succeeding. So they're not so much ultra alpha as it is like this other
That was the original
rung.
intent. And then those guys said, wait, that sounds great. So they redefined it to be ultra alpha.
Fair. Oh, yeah,
I
no,
weep
think
for humanity.
could do that.
As you should. Bog's unconscious.
Yeah, just
God.
literally that thing appeared on the screen and killed my party members.
Just full party wipe.
That was no good.
So, like, I assume that, like, I'm a girl and I want to say weird girl, but apparently that's a male.
Yeah, Sprite.
Right,
AKA
okay.
Sierra Mist.
Sierra Mist. So girl and Sierra Mist. They're CPU controlled, right? Like you're not controlling them.
Correct.
What is the Sierra Mist replacement now? What's it called?
Starry. Starry tastes way more like Sprite than Sierra Mist ever did, damn it.
Very bad.
Sierra Mist
have an
always
opinion.
tasted just like nothing to me. Like it was like flavor was suggested to it at some point.
Sierra Mist chat.
I mean, I didn't even know until like sometime in the last week or so that apparently Sierra Mist was supposed to be a riff on Mountain Dew.
What?
But
That's
I don't
very.
Figure that one out too.
It
in the
is a
name
very
only,
weird
because
riff on it.
obviously Sierra Mist.
Oh,
didn't
I
have
get.
any
Okay,
caffeine.
do yeah. All right, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I hate it.
Doesn't taste anything like Mountain Dew.
No,
Never did.
absolutely not.
My
Also
God.
decaf.
This battle. I wonder if I could just do it by myself.
I am reminded of the worst parts of Game Boy Crystallis, an absolute dog shit game that everybody hates.
The way you said it, I thought it was just another version of Game Boy.
I mean, sure, why not?
You know, you've got the 3DS and the
The Crystallis.
Advanced and the Crystallis, obviously.
Wow, that was just
Like,
brutal.
Game Boy.
I
You're playing
love
a
the
game.
burning animation where it's just like, help, I can't get out of this fire. Help.
It felt like it took a year for you to die.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
that was
it just stun. Like I love this fight. He just stun locks you in the end.
that was a phenomenally slow death. Just
When do you
absolutely
fight Santa
grim.
Claus?
Later
Are you out
actually.
of do you not have enough candies for Sierra Mist?
I was just kind of hoping it would work itself out.
What a way of putting that.
I'm just gonna save after this so that way I don't have to go through this whole conversation again.
What could possibly go wrong?
I sent them there.
I saw my fingers on my toes and I was
Alright, let's see what happens here.
cold.
See, I think the only reason you have to keep the rest of your party alive is so that way if you're the last man standing, you'll just die in a fire.
Yeah.
I do love dying in a fire.
I also love dying in a fire.
I like telling people to die in fires. Does that count?
Yes.
Yeah, close enough.
I do not enjoy any of it.
I like watching.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
I've said many times that one of the largest differences between Fanboy and I is that when Fanboy sees a fire, he's like, huh, a fire. And when I see a fire, I'm like, I bet I could make that bigger.
Do
Just
not
an absolute-
invite Beat to bonfire. Noted.
I mean, he'll
Why
have
not?
a really good time.
I mean, I'm awesome at bonfires. I get that shit going.
Okay, it's not something you try to be good at.
I'm
Well, this fight looks like it's really bad.
It
Yeah, no.
super is.
This game looks like it's really bad. I don't know why people talk about this series like it's laudable. It sucks so much, and I hate it. And I don't understand why everybody isn't as correct as me on this one.
All
The
right.
background patterns are really not the background patterns are really distracting to me.
Hey, you won.
Okay,
I just appreciate
Probes,
its spiky
whichever
tiger
one you are
just whack.
doing, wearing your glasses or not wearing your glasses, do the opposite, and then the game will be better.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing my glasses.
Yeah, see, that's why the pattern's so messed up, I assure you.
That's
Also,
completely it.
Also, the Super Nintendo could do color division. Like it could make
You could do color
transparent.
map, yeah.
It could make it transparent. So why the fuck is the text box dithered? That's so fucking distracting to me. I hate it so much.
I can change the text box. That is something that has been bothering me as well.
Can you change it to not be dithered?
Dithered.
That's a silly word. That I
It is
would
a
not
silly
have
word,
expected
but
in
it
this.
is the correct word in this case. I did not
I'm
make that
too
shit
lazy to
up.
look it up on this one.
Yeah, dithering in the context of especially old game graphics is just like, oh, we put we
looks
put
like it's in,
bits
like,
of color
pen.
next to each other.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Genesis did that a lot because it had a very limited palette.
And more specifically, like it didn't get to do transparency for free.
Oh,
Yeah.
good lord. Not even that. You get to choose what the terrible background.
Yeah, and they're all bad
There it is.
for some reason.
That's evil.
What are you
Go
doing?
black.
Why are you doing this? Why do you hate
Bad.
me? All right, sure. Yeah, go with that. As good as it gets.
Would be worse.
Fanboy, do you
It
remember
just-
when you were playing the PSP God of War, and I commented on how Kratos straining and flexing his incredible muscles to open treasure chests just made him look like a wuss?
Yeah.
Because when Link encounters a treasure chest in Breath of the
Just
Wild,
kicks it and
he
it's
just
open.
kicks it. He just boots that shit open. And when Kratos does it, it's this big fucking ordeal, and you're like, God, you're having so
What's
much
wrong with
trouble
you,
opening this
Kratos?
box. That's not quite my response to seeing Bob pick up a box and just shake it like crazy, but it's getting close.
It was really cute in 1994.
Well, it's not 1994.
It was
We
cute
do
the
at
first
least have
time.
Yeah, the issue is just that it's every box openings.
Yeah, it's like
You have to open boxes so often.
I mean,
even if they made it just a random chance, like if he just booted most of them open, and there was a 1 in 16 chance or something that he would just pick it up and shake it, that would be great. I'd be okay with that.
I mean,
It would make speedrunners miserable, but they're already miserable. So whatever.
Especially because they're playing Secret of Mana over and over.
Yeah.
So complete with the treasure chest animation, I've said this before and I'll say it again. My personal belief is that the real continuation of the Mana series is Kingdom Hearts. Complete with the three-person party and really weird choices. I feel like the
Balloon.
spirit of Secret of Mana went to Kingdom Hearts somewhere along the way.
Anna.
More like
Disagree, because
Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts.
I disagree because Kingdom Hearts is a good action game, and this is very much not.
Well, I think if Kingdom Hearts came out on the Super Nintendo, it might be might go a little something like this.
I kind of don't see it.
Okay,
I
so you
actually
see
agree-
Sprite, imagine Donald Duck.
I actually agree with Fanboy here, but I will say
Or
I
different.
cannot envision Kingdom Hearts on like a Super Nintendo. That's
I
that's a
super
bridge
can't
too far.
either.
Yeah, like
But you look at something like I would bring up Kingdom Hearts was on Super Nintendo level hardware. It's Chain of Memories, and they went with something completely deranged.
yeah, but you hated that game, Fanboy. I thought.
I hated it, but I respected it.
Okay. all right, sure. I'll give you that one.
So if
I
I
feel like
remember,
I need to
if
see the continuum.
I remember correctly, like so you can upgrade your magic, right?
Yeah, we don't have magic
Like
yet, though. We're almost there.
Okay.
All right. I gotta drag us back a second here, Fanboy. Chain of Memories, like being weird and out there, though, could only happen because Kingdom Hearts happened first. The context of it existing as a spin-off means that, like, had the very first Kingdom Hearts being on Super Nintendo would not have been like that.
I'm
Right?
actually unsure of what it would have looked like on Super Nintendo, just because
I
again,
don't
it's
know what
such
it would have looked like
inherently
either,
not
but I
Nintendo
don't think it would have
franchise.
been a card battle.
I mean,
I
another
don't think they would
another
have
You need to
random.
understand, card battlers were actually really common on the Super Nintendo. That's part of why they did this.
I thought that's really fucking.
Yeah.
That's fucking news to me. I did not realize that the Super Nintendo had card battlers.
Oh, they're mostly Japanese. But like if
Yeah,
you go
they
look
did
at
not
like
get
any
translated.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
yeah, if you get like any Dragon Ball game prior to like the PS1, it's like there's a couple of fighting games and then it's just a bunch of card battle RPGs for some reason.
Bizarre.
And I'll state there's a
Think
very
about
distinct
right there.
possibility that Kingdom Hearts would have been basically Super Mario RPG.
I could see
Oh, that
that.
would explain the Shimamura soundtrack.
Yeah,
I
that-
see
that-
the argument for that.
See the
sure.
connection. Like
Like,
something
that
with
one makes sense
like
to me.
still kind of an RPG, but definitely with a high level of like action going on between scenes.
I guess the other question that I have is that Kingdom Hearts is what I would say is one of the earlier examples of an event game. Like that game was hyped as all hell. Did the Super Nintendo have event games? Like, were we at that point yet?
Not really.
I'm not.
We did have
okay.
plenty of Disney games.
Yeah, but like they were just, the game that you bought because you'd already played Mario and Sonic and you were wondering and you had seen Aladdin
And
and were
thank
like,
God
oh,
Capcom made this one.
thank God Capcom made this one, right? They weren't like a big deal. Kingdom Hearts was a big deal.
I mean, if you recall, like when you say big deal, like even Nintendo Power, which was like the propaganda arm of one of the main consoles, like they learned between like the lead up to Final Fantasy III and Chrono Trigger that they could do nonsense like RPG Corner, where they basically turned a genre that was considered to be reviled in this area and turned it into like the next big event. So I think by the very nature of just video games and video games media were finding their like place at that time, like there were event games, but they didn't quite know how to swing that yet.
Huh.
Like there was a time, like I mean, I posted it recently on Twitter and Blue Sky, the joke comment that was made at the release of the original Smash Brothers by Game Informer of like all the different characters that Nintendo could have included instead of Ness, and it was like Ganon, Princess, etc. And they also joked Ken Griffey Jr. because there was a time when Ken Griffey Jr. releasing the latest Super Nintendo game was something that like was looked forward to like Madden. And it's just a matter of, that fell off and other games didn't, and that's where we're at. It was a weird time.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm still, I agree with everything you just said, but I still don't think that had Kingdom Hearts been a Super Nintendo game, it would have been a card battler. I think that like they would have tried to like do something actiony because they would have wanted to release it in America, and card battlers, as pointed out, did not get American releases.
There are Japan-only Disney games at the time, though.
Yeah, but like nothing on the level of like. I don't think there are any like Japan-only games that like had whatever his fucking name was from Final Fantasy VI, which would have been the guy in Kingdom Hearts. It's SNES.
I can't even.
No.
I'm just now trying to imagine Yoshitaka Amano trying to draw Mickey, and Mickey just getting lankier and paler over time.
Oh God, yeah, no.
I'm picturing a Mononoke Mickey, and it just looks exactly like Ferris from Final Fantasy V, just with slightly pronounced ears.
I'm always so unhappy when I'm playing a version of that game that has like, and it sucks because the GBA version is the one I'm always playing, but a version that has the Amano portraits next to the dialogue, because it's like these are the least appropriate characters to have Amano portraits drawn of them.
He's the guy that I've like described as drawing people like wispy ghosts.
Yeah, they have
ghosts.
Amano does not, when given a choice of what to draw, Amano draws extraordinarily pale, extraordinarily blonde, extraordinarily lanky people of all descriptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that the best thing that ever happened to him was when he hooked up for the DC Comics Sandman, and like that character was built for him.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, when you think of the first 6 Final Fantasy games, like aside from maybe 6, what you're mostly thinking of is like Kazuko Shibuya's character sprites.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just can't get away from it.
Yeah, dude likes eating my characters.
Ranch.
Screaming Red Skull said Disney would want their characters to be that detailed. It makes sense. I don't know how long ago.
Can you shut off the AI attack patterns?
You can
because they
modify
seem to be
them
always
to either be cowards or stand directly in front of bullets. Those are the only two options.
This is why everyone played this game in multiplayer.
Yeah.
If they're cowards, do they not they're basically taking up your damage slot with their dinky boomerang throws.
I mean,
Does
basically,
this thing have just like 1 million HP? What the fuck?
Well, it was using a cure spell, if you noticed.
I didn't.
Okay. Now we finally have magic.
So is it still like you want your magic to be like 1 level below the max level, because at the max level like you can no longer do the infinite stun locks on enemies?
That is technically true if you are a coward.
You are weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, Goggle Bob, is it technically true that there's no way you have the skill set required to do an infinite stun lock in this game?
There is no skill set to it. You just keep using the same spell over and over again, and when you run out of MP, you refill it. Like, that is all there is.
It's pretty easy.
And that is how I beat the game when I first played this game when I was a kid.
The thing is, like,
I'm sticking by my guns on this one.
The thing is, like, when you get to max magic level, is it a chance or is it all the time?
When you get
that it becomes
when you get to level 8, I want to say 8 of 9.
Damn.
When you get to level, or maybe 7 of 8. But when you get to the second to last level, then it's a chance. When you get to the highest level, then it happens. Like, I think it's technically a chance, but it's like a 90% chance. Like, it is very often. And Well, go on, yes.
Yeah, basically, when you're at max level of a particular, like, magic, then when you cast it, it becomes almost like a cinematic, and that's uninterruptible, so you can no longer cast another spell while it's being hit with the first spell, so you can't do the stun lock.
You can't make
anymore.
it infinite.
So max magic is shittier than second to max magic.
But note that you have very little control over it, because if you're using your spells as much as you want to do the stun locking, then inevitably they're going to level up anyway. Speaking of which, I should just be using this cure spell all the time, so that way it levels up. A very common thing in this game is just standing in an inn and using the healing spells over and over again, so that way they level up in a place where you can refill your MP.
Does each spell level individually, or is it leveled by school?
It is by school. So, like, if you use the Undyne's healing spell, then your Undyne Ice Sword also levels up. But there are 7 different schools per character. Which is, suffice to say, annoying.
Do you have high hopes for there's a new mana game?
There is, and it looks good.
They always look good, though.
They do!
The thing about it, the Mana remake was the closest any of these damn things came to playing okay.
Which remake? Trials?
Trials.
Yeah, okay. I am willing to agree with that. Well, and also, I will say Legend of Mana, for what it's trying to do, I think does it correctly.
Oh yeah, that game's deranged, but in the way that it intends to be.
Yeah, no, that is a game that is just gibbering in the corner about being the King of England or something like that, but it is good at doing that.
I am the Queen!
You'll be back.
Yes, exactly. It is deranged.
I do appreciate that in the filmed version that they had on Disney, the amount of absolute spit on the guy's face is more and more apparent in every song. It's just like showing the insanity. It's beautiful. Excellent filmmaking.
That's right. I had access to Disney Plus. I never got around to actually watching that.
I'm appreciating looking at the back of this cheap copy of Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star that I picked up. And
It was on
the
sale.
tagline. It was $10.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
I got it at
But
20 and I felt
appreciate-
bad.
I'll say it again. Fit boxing is invincible.
I'm waiting for Hatsune Miku boxing.
Yeah, because you're a coward.
I mean, I have
Are you
Fist of the
talking
North
about a
Star.
puzzle
but-
game?
No, that was something
No,
else.
we were talking
entirely.
about a fitness game.
No.
I was talking to Cass about getting the Hatsune Miku jigsaw puzzle game was on sale, and after braid times, I was thinking about picking up a jigsaw puzzle game just for practicing.
Why?
Why?
That's exactly
Everybody on the
why.
call is upset with you now, Cargo Bob. Everybody.
Nobody liked that.
Nobody liked that. But okay,
You're welcome.
does Hatsune Miku? Because I know she's sort of a video game character. I think she's technically a Sega property.
I was about to say she's Sonic the Hedgehog's sister. That's canon
Incredible.
now.
Sonic for the Sega CD?
Incredible. Here's the thing: does she actually have any good video games? Video games that I would play by choice?
Okay,
Is
do
my
you like
definition
do
of
you
good.
like rhythm
Well,
games?
Beat definitely wouldn't.
No.
Okay, well
Because
then
Project Eve is a bad one.
Well, okay, I
She's
liked
not-
one rhythm game. I liked Crypt of the Necrodancer, but that also is the game that made me aware of my crippling roguelite addiction.
which your
is why I
brother
don't
is feeding
avoid them.
apparently, which we should tell him not to do that. That's like buying
Yeah.
It's like-
scratch offs for a gambling addict.
I'm actually uninstalling that one right now.
Good.
Better this way.
We're all here for you, Beat. You have a lot to live for.
I wasn't gonna kill myself, but okay. Thanks.
She's not so much as a character as she is just a mascot for a voice bank.
Yeah, just the design that floats around.
And I will state that one of her rhythm games, which, if pressed, I do not remember which one, but one of them is actually pretty alright. Most of the rest of them are kind of crap.
They're all Project Diva, whatever the fuck. The only thing I know about them, and this is unfair, but whatever, is that like the Persona rhythm games apparently play like them, and those
Yes.
are dog shit rhythm games.
Yes.
Like I love Persona music. I would love for Persona music to be in a rhythm game that was fun. And good lord, that is just fucking bad rhythm game.
Weirdly
What's
enough, they
bad
worked
about it?
well on the Vita. Like, I'm
Oh,
not saying
no, it
that.
didn't. I played 4 on the Vita.
Okay,
It's
well,
bad.
I was
It's
gonna
a
say, like, I
bad
didn't
rhythm
think it was
game.
like a good rhythm game, but I thought it played like that was the place where it played and made the most sense. I thought
No,
like
so
a
here's
screen
my-
that
here's my-
size works for it.
Here's my huge problem with that is that yes, the smaller screen size is inherently like because the idea behind it is like okay, there's little button prompts that are showing up in the center of the screen and they're pushing out to the edges like Samba de Amigo, but not fun.
Yes.
But the problem is that, and I assume this is also true for Project Diva, there is just an inordinately distracting amount of rainbows exploding in the background. And you can't see shit.
And that's
you
the
have
thing.
To, like the
Well, I was just going to say the one good Project Diva game is one where they kind of consolidated that, and it actually like you can see the gameplay going on, and that's why I say that there's
It's
one
like-
good one because the rest of them all do that crazy rainbow shit where it's like just let me see the button you want me to press.
yeah, like the entire field is completely impossible. Oh, I'm getting a call.
Oh, wait, I have looked up Project Diva. Yeah, you can pay me to play this shit.
Did you like Guitar Hero back in the day?
Who didn't like Guitar Hero back in the day?
I mean, that there were people who didn't like Guitar Hero. I might be one of them.
I only played, I think, I don't remember which one I played, but it had Salvation by Rancid in it, which is all I know.
Oh, that was
Bob
that-
asked if you liked it, and you answered that you played it.
I did like it because
Okay.
I played it because I liked it. If I didn't like it, I would have played it once or twice and then never again.
Yeah, so it sounds like the one that you had was Rock Band Beatles edition.
That had Rancid on it?
That had Rancid in it.
I can't believe you guys actually took that seriously even for a minute.
I mean, I've seen the DLC packs for some of these things. I was not willing to. I'm gonna write it off.
Okay, we're talking about music now.
And rhythm
Guitar
games.
Hero 2, 2000.
Time to segue back to Crazy Frog.
Guess what you can get as a ringtone?
Beat, that would have been Guitar Hero 2 in 2006. You're welcome.
Okay, so that was the one then.
Like it was actually like you know, I wasn't trying to find Crazy Frog or crazy junk anywhere.
Crazy Frog and his crazy
You weren't
junk.
trying to find it; it found you.
Yeah,
God,
like
okay.
I mentioned this to B like yesterday. There's like I was actually trying to like go find a different song, and then like YouTube just auto generated a playlist of literally like most of the popular songs at the time.
Axel
like,
F 16 times.
No.
Boop 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 boop.
Oh, so that's going to be stuck in my head for the next week, and
good. It's a
you're
good song.
never going to hear the end of it, Goggle Bob.
Boop 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 boop.
Unrelated to anything. I hate this game so much. I'm not even watching YouTube. I'm just scrolling down my homepage. And like one person I follow, an animator, did a takedown, or basically just like an animated version of himself, just making fun of Most Critical. And I just hate that motherfucker so much.
Is he the one in the
I
white
tried
t-shirt?
to
He's the one in the
watch
white
some of his
t-shirt with like the
videos.
long hair and the beard that makes him look a little bit like Jesus, but not enough to like, you know.
A
And he,
little
like-
bit like Jesus.
And his video style is just him in his room, just talking about a current event, like completely deadpan.
oftentimes, like it's a reaction to like something, and I fucking hate reaction content.
I used to watch
counter programming.
Many of us did. Counter programming, fuck yeah. Something interesting to watch.
God damn it.
Cream and Red Skull says, "Stop talking about Crazy Frog."
Screaming Red Skull, I love you as a friend. No.
Crazy Frog will continue until things improve.
Morale improves.
Wait, the
Yeah.
ghost does not get to sleep? I forgot that.
The ghost does not get to
Damn.
sleep, but then they're alive when the sun comes up. So I don't know what that means. If anybody has an afterlife that is based on Secret of Mana cosmology, just remember that. Like
We're
you
gonna,
have
like-
you have to watch your loved ones sleep, but then by the next
Goggle Bob
morning
is
you're
gonna
alive.
get like super deep into Secret of Mana to the point where he makes it his religion. Going
when,
to
when I was a kid, like when I was like 12, not wrong. Like
this is going to be
I drew
only
like
fanboy will get this reference. He is going to create the Hotep of Mana.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Fanboy
You don't have to,
has
it's just for
stepped
fanboy.
away, so we will not hear that until later.
we'll just
It
repeat
was
it when he
a
gets
reference to a Warlocracy video where he describes the Hotep of communism and then the Hotep of crackers.
Okay, what is Hotep? What does that mean?
It's a basically cult like conspiracy theory thinking that like gets adapted into all sorts of stupid shit, and basically just like but Russia, Warlocracy's point was, invented its own version of it that was all about basically ascribing everything the USSR did to Russia. And
Wow,
then
I did not get that at all.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Geopolitics.
I will drop a YouTube video worth watching into general. And you may
Okay.
watch it if you wish, and that will sort of explain.
You will learn all new things about the world.
Speaking of things that y'all link in general, I finally watched the damn baseball video. Was that from last week or from a couple weeks
I
ago?
think last week we linked
a little
to it,
while
boy.
ago. Not that long ago. Though.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will
it's-
probably watch it later.
You don't have to. It's not like required.
It's like very big probably. Because I just rewatched the H-Bomber plagiarism video all day.
Oh
I
man,
mean, that's a great one.
I
Like,
can't
that's-
even imagine being
That was one that was like
18
3
and-
hours long, wasn't it?
It was.
What?
Because I did actually watch that. I think that was before I started hanging around you fools.
I think it came out around April or February.
Oh,
Like
just kidding.
in
Yeah.
2023. That's like Goggle Bob, what were you talking about?
Well, I was going to say, imagine being 18 and like how small your backlog is compared to the rest of us that are like still talking about watching YouTube videos that were released in like 2010. We'll get to it.
I have officially hit the halfway point.
I just watch fucking challenge videos from people like just playing games as stupidly as they possibly can because that shit speaks to me. And Warlocracy. That's it. Just those two categories.
Waypoint.
I got 2 treasure chests, and they were both bombs.
Well, then you probably shouldn't have like picked it up and shook it.
I mean, you can see where that caused a problem, like right off the bat.
You know, you can see there's an issue there.
I do appreciate one consistent thing across Secret of Mana is that they make all of the mana temples like the same tile set but colored appropriately for the elements. It's nice.
That was only in December. Holy shit.
I mean, I just remember I got around to watching it while I was on vacation. Like, it was a freaking vacation activity. Not the January vacation, to be clear.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were staring at a device that long.
I thought he was.
No, he had actual books that he brought with.
No, I don't believe that.
I did bring books on vacation. One of them even got
don't.
wrecked in my luggage, and I was upset about that.
Oh no!
Oh no.
You had the same reaction at the time.
Oh.
Now everybody's dead.
I can't believe Gogglebob destroyed the last remaining copy of the Da Vinci Code.
You don't think you're gonna have a problem taking that on vacation, but you do. You know, I have to say, just tip for kids at home: never take anything on a flight that you want to survive. I don't care if you're visiting like your great grandma who needs to see, your Titanic pendant for the last time. It will get wrecked on the trip. Just a heads up on that.
Your tablet seemed to do just fine.
Yeah, because I kept it like pressed against my body at all times. It did not go in my luggage.
I mean, that's fair.
When I was actually looking for 20-year-old music, 20 to 30-year-old music videos, I was actually looking for Witch Doctor by Cartoons. Because, like, that one gets stuck in my head a lot.
Witch Doctor? Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Told the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, it took me a second. Is that only 20 years old?
No, it was released in, like, the 90s. Late 90s, though.
That's definitely not from the 90s. That's from way older.
Callie just, like, not happy to hear that.
The video said 1998.
Okay.
Right, but the original song was from 1958.
Wow. Okay.
The original song was from a Dr. Mario commercial.
Okay, well, the Cartoons version, the Cartoons band version was 98.
What's going on?
Written by Dave.
Oh, we are talking about Crazy Frog.
No! The Witch Doctor.
Which thing is actually being talked about? I'll trust Chrome on this. Disgusted no.
Witch Doctor by Cartoons.
No.
Yeah, for some reason we were still doing that in the 90s.
Told the Witch Doctor you didn't love me true. I told the Witch Doctor you didn't love me nice. And then the Witch Doctor, he gave me some advice.
Yeah. So trivia moment. Written and performed by somebody whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce. Under his stage name. Yeah, that one. Under his stage name, David Seville. Also known as the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, this was his pre-Chipmunks thing, and when you listen to both the concepts, it's like, oh yeah, absolutely, obviously.
Now that I read that, it makes perfect sense.
Can you just imagine having a pre-Chipmunks phase described? Like, that's part of your Wikipedia entry.
The rodent invasion.
All I can think of is the time Outer Heaven showed the Chipmunks movie from like the early 90s.
Oh god, that
pitched
thing
down
80s, but yeah.
so that so that they all had like probably what their actual speaking voices were.
I don't like anything about that.
It was incredible.
You could hide your love from me just like
also,
you were
I did like a Twitter thread on it, and like a bunch of my mutuals were like, "Wow, I am upset about how often like just upsetting horny is coming up in this." That is a deeply disturbing movie.
There's some scenes that are like, hey, aren't these characters like 8?
What?
There are multiple of those, like
the Chipmunk Adventure. Do not watch
it. Very upsetting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 80s Chipmunks movie, and there's some scenes that's just like, why?
Why would you do this?
What's wrong with you?
Did you have to go door to door and tell people that you worked on this movie? I hope you did.
There's definitely like if you were involved in animating this scene, you need to report yourself to the local authorities every time you move.
I was thinking about asking what
wow.
specifically was happening, but now I'm never going to.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Gogs watches the playback.
Ugh.
Believe me, it would take a lot to get me to watch a Chipmunks movie.
Oh no, I meant on the. Never mind.
Time
I'm
to watch Shipwrecked.
Taking things a little too literally this week. Don't worry.
Same.
We're not mad. Now to watch
But
Chipwrecked.
we are disappointed.
Nah.
So
Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
The squeakquel.
I thought that was Stuart Little that got a squeakquel.
No, Stuart Little
also,
2 is
but
just called
the one
Stuart
that
Little
was
2.
all prequel was the Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I'm trying to remember. I watched at least one of them.
You would have been the right
Stuart Little was
age to have
just
seen
Yeah,
it.
you would- Like if any of us watched it, we'd be like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. We can't even judge.
Like as a child, I watched like reruns of the '80s version, so it's like, yeah, whatever. That's
Yeah, that was like one of
there's a
those
certain-
it's on, we'll watch it things.
yeah.
I
there's-
was at the
there's a
right
certain-
age to have fond memories of He-Man.
Yeah, but
I
there
mean,
was
that's
still
more
like
shameful. I'm gonna be real.
He-Man was like what you wanted to watch, but what was on was like Scooby-Doo and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Scooby-Doo I actually didn't watch because I felt it was insulting to my intelligence as a 6-year-old.
Okay, see, that's weird because, like, every kid loved Scooby-Doo.
I did not
I did
love
not.
Scooby-Doo. It was just on.
Yeah.
I was just always upset that it's like this could like mysteries are cool and these are not good mysteries.
Oh, they weren't good mysteries.
You wanted mystery validity out of Scooby-Doo.
There were so many
I-
of those
like, I was a
episodes where,
6-year-old,
like,
and I
they'd
was, like-
unmask them, and it wouldn't even be someone who ever showed up in the episode.
Well, they would just
It would
say
be
the
just,
name
like,
of someone like you're
Some
supposed to know.
rando.
It was just one of those things where it's like, okay, like I like mysteries, I think they're cool, but these aren't fun. This is boring.
How dare
Ronald
you
Reagan.
sully the name of mysteries?
I was a mystery nerd child.
I'm just imagining you, like, age 10, getting into arguments with the school bully over G.K. Chesterson's Father Brown series.
I'm just
I was
imagining him
mostly
playing
bullied by
a
girls.
Game Boy Advance Phoenix Wright 30 times in a row.
I absolutely the time that like I was interested in Phoenix Wright when I saw like EGM cover the GBA version as like isn't this a weird thing that's coming out in Japan? So
We've got
I was
Muppet
very
time.
excited. I was very excited when the DS version was announced and was following it before it had an English name. They were just like, yeah, we're bringing Gyakuten Saiban to America on the DS. Fun fact: they originally the original pitch name for Phoenix Wright was Roger Wright,
Roger.
which they liked.
typical
The
American
localizers liked that pitch because of the alliteration, and it was easier to make puns about. It's like because like his Japanese name's Naruhodo, that means like do you understand? I understand.
Oh, and Roger means yeah.
Roger.
Okay.
Roger
That
that.
is
Got it.
that
yeah.
is actually pretty clever. That's I get where they're going with that. Like
Yeah.
until
Ultimately,
you said that, I wasn't on board, and then I was like, oh, okay, no, they had something there.
They were cooking.
I'm glad they
Yeah.
went with Phoenix, but they had something there.
well, like they went with Phoenix because the Japanese producers liked it because it fits better. Like it contains the mythological connotation of his other name, Ryuichi. Like Ryuichi, like Ryu just means dragon, and there's like mythological connotations that come up sometimes around his name that Phoenix and dragon are similar enough that you can make them work.
I thought
That's
the story, the stupid anecdote I read in a gaming magazine or whatever was that like his entire thing is coming back like at the last moment,
Like,
like a
that's
phoenix
definitely
rising from
something
the
that-
ashes.
Turnaround.
That's definitely something that Capcom Japan liked. They really liked that was that connotation. but there was other things. There were other concerns. Like again, they wanted that mythological connotation that Phoenix and Ryu both had.
Sorry.
But we could localize it otherwise, Callie.
But like that's the same reason that like they were really they ultimately the Japan side was very insistent that they maintain the mythological theme naming, which is why the following two attorneys were Apollo and Athena. Which,
I got Apollo, but Athena never occurred to me, and now I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed with that.
I guess I'm just used to that name in video games.
Apollo was chosen because it matched some of the connotations of the kanji in his Japanese name, which have things like connotations of like king and happiness and shit, and like all that kind of gets wrapped up in the concept of a light god. But yeah, no, the localizations on those games are fascinating. I'm still like. Some of my favorites are ones that showed up in the Great Ace Attorney, where you get characters like with completely unlocalizable names because their names were in Japan. Their names were the joke was that the English names sounded like Japanese phrases, and so they had to just completely go back from scratch for all of them, even though they technically had vaguely English-sounding names, but they were all just designed to sound funny when a Japanese person tried to pronounce them.
I mean, that doesn't make translation sense.
Yeah, so they had to like rename characters to have names like Magnus McGilded, which is one of my favorite names I've ever heard.
That's a really great name. Like that's a fantastic name.
I forget what his original name is because it's like it sounds. Oh yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I'm going to pull this up to make sure that I'm remembering it correctly because it sounds like the most Japanese person comes up with a vaguely English-sounding name and gives up. Yeah, Magnus McGilded in Japanese is named Cosney McGundle.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
I'm liking it. It.
Let me pull up what exactly that phrase is because it's a
Go
good
baseball.
It's a good explanation for like what kinds of names that they were doing with Great Ace Attorney in Japan. Okay, there he is. Good old Cosney McGundle.
McGundle.
So,
Sounds like
McGundle.
a medical disorder.
Kinda. It is a transliteration of Kozani Megundeyaru, which is just basically means I'll spare you some change. I can give you some money. Yeah, he gets changed to Magnus McGilded, which pulls out the idea that he's like, oh, he's very rich and he's sort of pretending to be magnanimous, but like he's not true like gilded. There's gold on him, but that's not him.
He's fake.
Yep.
He can't spare you any change.
I love Ace Attorney. I love Ace Attorney so goddamn much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're gonna get.
Sorry.
We'll get back to Crazy Frog discussion later.
Like in like a month, like in like 2 weeks, Ace Attorney Investigations Collection is going to come out, and you're going to hear like me complaining about forcing myself to replay Ace Attorney Investigations 1, a game that sucks total ass, and then talk about how for some inexplicable reason they had the biggest turnaround of all time and produced Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which is like a top 3 game in the franchise.
Oh, do you have it just under the Great Ace Attorney duology?
I would put it when I say top 3 game in the franchise, I'm counting the Great Ace Attorney duology as one big game.
Okay.
So I'm putting Great Ace Attorney duology and Spirit of Justice, depending upon what phase of the moon it is, depending upon how I'm feeling that day, and then under them is Investigations 2. Again, I'm gonna briefly take a step aside to say that anyone who has never played Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, please play that. It's so good, and it has some of my
Agreed.
favorite animations I've ever seen in a video game.
And characters.
The
yeah,
the dancing like what is it, security
Inspector
guard.
Cabanera. Yeah, like he has this incredible dance animation that I need to like commit to memory and get used to just doing. Because the way he moves is just so fun to watch.
And Fanboy gonna cosplay?
And I don't think I can pull off his look.
When has that ever stopped a cosplayer?
Right?
I'm not exactly a person with a lot of dignity, but
Not exactly.
I can.
Again,
Me
when
neither,
has
but
that
I'm
ever
also
stopped a
too lazy.
cosplayer?
I was gonna say me neither, but I'm too lazy to do the cosplay part.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a gif of him doing the dance.
I think the last PAX I went to, I took a picture of some lady dressed as Rogue the Bat, but sexy, which is an oxymoron. Because
I was gonna say, what do you mean, butt sexy?
yeah, exactly, exactly. But and like I was just taking pictures of everything because like I love taking pictures of shit when I'm at those things. And then she just like nods after like our momentary interaction is done, and then hands me her business card.
Wow.
Professional Rouge the Bat.
Yeah,
If it's a professional thief, that'd be pretty rad.
that would be pretty great.
So, Screamin' Red Skull and myself in the chat.
Yes.
Screamin' Red Skull says McGundle sounds like a slang term like gooch or some other gross location.
Yeah, it really does.
And I said I think that's what I was thinking when I said medical condition. And then I Googled it.
Oh
and
no!
Apparently the word I was thinking
Oh,
of
no.
was
Afraid I have McGundle.
Well, now you have.
Grundle.
Congratulations, Cassandra Lynn. You have exposed yourself to the worst pornography any man has ever seen.
No, the entire screen was text. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You say so.
It was McGundle fanfiction.
We all act like we believe you.
Grundle I have sometimes heard as a phrase.
Right, and I couldn't place it, and I didn't feel like looking it up, and then I looked it up anyway. So Grundle is apparently a British version of gooch or taint.
Yeah.
Another word in the collection is Chad.
Yeah. Well, hang the
Chad.
So apparently Chad is British slang for taint. You're welcome.
Well, the British were always like, way behind the curve.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is
I said
a
it.
tiny GIF. This is a tiny GIF, but I think it will illustrate the purpose. It is fit for purpose, as they say.
Okay.
What's up for you? Where's the open? Oh.
No.
Okay, that. No. Damn it. There we go.
God, every once in a while
Always.
this fucker just stun locks me, and that's that.
Look at how this fucker moves. I love him so much.
That
Which
was
guy?
actually really
Inspector
great.
Kavanaugh.
The little kick he does, and then just lean against
Yeah.
the table, like, yeah, I am that fucking extra. Yeah,
That's adorable.
that's really good.
I want to be able to move like this man.
Oh, you're talking about Ghost Trick, aren't you?
I am. It's Cabanella.
Good stuff.
All right.
It's one of the.
Talk about how
one of
much
the
longer are you
best-
gonna lose to this asshole?
I mean, I'm gonna try and beat it just for the sake of getting Gnome, and then we're good.
You could have been talking to
Fuck, I
either
need
one of
to-
us.
Fuck it. One of these days, I'll grab like Ghost Trick on stream and I'll on Steam and I'll stream this shit. Like people need
Alright.
to know.
That sounds good.
I mean,
I'll do
I
that.
will state that I was planning on doing Ghost Trick for my annual Halloween game. Not necessarily streaming it, but at least doing an article on it.
Maybe
'Cause,
we can try
you know,
to
there's
make
ghosts
it coincide or
involved.
something.
Yeah, we can work that. We can make that work. All
Coordinate
right. That said,
shit.
I do have to go to bed soon. I have a job now, and it's weird.
That's
Nice.
understandable.
Congratulations, I'm sorry.
Congratulations, I'm sorry.
That's pretty much
That is the
where
feeling
I'm
of
at
getting a
too.
job.
No!
Today was,
You get to go to work
as
now.
stated, much better than day one.
Yeah,
which
I
I
hope it
assume is
continues on
pretty
an upward
normal.
trend line.
But like
Yeah.
I hope that trend continues to go that
No!
direction.
I mean,
Yeah.
that wasn't in.
No,
We
Pete
know
enjoying
what you
his
mean, Cali
job.
Scrub. We believe in
It's
you.
cool, Cal Scrub. It's cool. We get it.
Me and you have
I'm
been friends
fighting
for
for
like
my
15
life out
years.
here.
It's fine.
Yeah, we know exactly what you're about, Cal Scrub.
No!
Keep thinking about the fact that me and Cali Scrub have been friends for like 11 years, and that feels nuts.
That feels nuts. This can't be right.
I've known Galabob for 20 years.
Wow.
Terrifying.
It's more just a case of like I'm not used to like the concept of I've been an adult for that long. That's weird.
You tell me about it.
Yeah. Osni Magundal.
all right. I've had a lot of mean things to say about this game, how it looks, and how like the most talked about aspect, its graphics are just, in my opinion, kind of bad. But I really do like how the guy you're fighting right now looks like he could have been like a one-off character in Dragon Ball.
I mean, Akira Toriyama was vaguely involved.
Well, there you go.
I mean, you'll notice that boy and girl have origins. Oh, I beat it. All right. Everybody
Yay.
explodes.
Beat the fuck out of Santa Claus.
Yeah, no, that character eventually returns as Santa Claus.
You're not kidding.
You know
Why
this
would you
knowledge
think
now,
about
and you can't unknow this knowledge.
Fucking A.
I realized I don't actually know that much about Ace Attorney. Like, sure, I've seen gameplay of, like, the first game or so, but there was, like, that one animation of the clown girl that got really popular.
Oh Jesus!
It's like it got me like researching like the game she's in, and I found a character that's plural.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
wait.
like, oh, that's cool.
Just one game-related thing that calls back to earlier. They do make the joke at this point in the game that Gnome thinks that Girl is married to Sprite, which distinctly puts Sprite in the male category.
Does it though?
I
Does
mean,
it though?
gnomes assume gender.
All right. I guess they also assume heterosexuality.
I mean, it just seems like a thing.
Everybody. Well, now you're just being racist against gnomes.
I feel like we should be racist against gnomes. Have you met those fuckers?
No.
I'm going to invent a slur for gnomes.
So,
Gnomes.
I'm drawing a complete blank. The best I can come up with is beardo.
No, that's for dwarves.
I still say go with Gome.
I think brownies is the official insulting term for gnomes.
I thought they called themselves that.
That raises a lot of questions about Brownie Brown.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up because all I have to do is like,
Brownie
I
Brown
can
work
use
on
the
Sword of
rope.
Mana. That feels correct.
Nope, I can't use my rope. Oh wait, I can use my rope.
Brownie Brown worked on Sword of Mana. My joke makes sense now.
Yay! All right, well, I'm packing
The game
it in.
sucks. We'll have to find that out in a few weeks.
We'll get there. Oh yeah, Sword of Mana is the one I hate the most. But all right,
I respect it more than Adventurers of Mana, but it's
I
bad.
do not. But
I don't
anyway,
respect any
all
of
right,
these games.
we're packing it up. So everybody have a good night, as this team is now going to bed at the end.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody watching.
Brownie Brown.
Gotta hit a button.